The man awakens the only mythical level talent in history. Yet he chooses the profession of a pastor, the weakest class. Everyone mocks him, considering him a useless person with no future. Unexpectedly, his talent can reverse the rules of the world, turning all skills into reverse effects. Healing instantly becomes critical damage. With just one move, effortlessly, the whole crowd immediately falls silent, because the world suddenly descends into chaos. The demon world game suddenly becomes reality. Monsters spill out from another realm, bringing disaster. But humanity also receives a job system, helping them become stronger. Anyone can randomly awaken and then choose a suitable profession. Talents are divided into levels from common to rare, legendary, then semi-divine, and finally mythical. No one has ever possessed a mythical level talent after awakening. Most choose to become mages or swordsmen. There are also summoners, warriors, and assassins. Pastors, however, are seen as a trash profession due to their weak healing and attack. Today is the day of awakening for the entire school. The principal gives a speech and activates the formation. Everyone is eager to awaken, and Ngiam Hao is no exception. He wants to be strong enough to protect what he has. The girl in front of him is the one he wants to protect. To Mok Mok, the school beauty. To Mok Mok, Lum Da, Bak Shi, Tu Mao, Huang Tiu Fong, Trieu Kai Hung. The students awaken one by one, and soon it is Ngiam Hao's turn. Standing in the formation, his consciousness is pulled into another space. A glowing orb appears before him. When Ngiam Hao's hand touches the orb, a surge of intense energy rushes straight into him. The system announces, Ngiam Hao awakens the first mythical level talent, Reversal of Heaven and Earth. Every skill's effect is reversed, and he can freely toggle them on and off. But there is a critical flaw. It only affects skills, not normal attacks. Therefore, he decided to keep his awakening a secret to avoid revealing his weakness. Then he urged Mok Mok to awaken, while he went to choose his class. To unleash his full power, Ngiam Hao chose the priest class, a profession considered the weakest. However, under his control, healing turned into devastating damage. More importantly, the damage after reversal would be pure damage, penetrating armor and nullifying defenses. Later on, if Ngiam Hao became a mysterious assassin, who could withstand him? The priest was the perfect choice for his talent. At the same time, Mok Mok also completed her awakening. She received a legendary talent and chose the mage class. Next, the whole class would enter a dungeon to begin leveling up. After being refused to team up, Ngiam Hao decided to enter the dungeon alone. This way, he would level up faster and, more importantly, avoid revealing his talent too early. Then he stepped into the teleportation gate of Bycat. The name of this dungeon, Wolf Forest. True to its name, this place was filled with fierce, wild wolves. Anyone entering had to follow the marked path, clearing out the wolf pack in the dungeon to proceed. To keep newcomers safe, there were healing springs along the way to restore health. The important thing was that death in the dungeon was real. Once you lost your life, you couldn't come back. Therefore, most newcomers strictly followed the procedure. Clearing the dungeon was the goal. But Ngiam Hao had a mythical talent, so how could he ignore the depths of the dungeon? He immediately encountered 3 wild wolves. Spotting their target, they charged in to attack without hesitation. Ngiam Hao pressed his lips together and activated Reversal of Heaven and Earth. He cast a wave of healing reversal magic. A loud explosion sounded, and one wolf collapsed on the spot. The other 2 immediately closed in on Ngiam Hao. One activated its tearing skill towards him, but the damage was reversed back, sending it flying away. Ngiam Hao continued to use the purification reversal technique. He tightly bound another wolf. Then he unleashed the healing reversal technique to take it down. The remaining wild wolf changed its tactics. It used a charge attack straight at Ngiam Hao. He slid to the side, dodging the normal attack. Then he returned a healing reversal technique. Right now, he only had these 2 skills. Nevertheless, they were dealt with swiftly. Once the task was complete, Ngiam Hao turned off the spatial reversal and used healing magic to restore his full state. His level increased to 2. With the profession of a pastor, enhancing intelligence was the best choice. Therefore, he allocated both of his free attribute points into intelligence. After that, he used fire to light the way, continuously taking down wild wolves and delving deeper into the forest. Finally, he spotted his target, the level 5 White Wolf King, the final boss of this secret realm. Countless young geniuses had perished at its hands, making this area an absolute forbidden zone. To defeat the White Wolf King, Niamhao had to clear its minions first. First, to avoid being surrounded by the pack. Second, to gain experience by eliminating them, thus increasing his strength faster. Niamhao patiently concealed himself, waiting for the right moment. Then he struck down each wild wolf one by one. When he reached level 4, the White Wolf King finally sensed something was off. At this point, Niamhao had wiped out its minions, and now it was its turn. The White Wolf King let out a low growl and charged straight at him. However, its skill attacks were completely ineffective against Niamhao, even healing him due to the activated spatial reversal. The more skills it used, the more Niamhao healed, while he retaliated with healing magic. The boss's health gradually wore down, and just when it seemed like it was about to end, it changed its strategy. It switched to normal attacks, but Niamhao managed to dodge in time. It seemed to have identified his weakness, its body shifting as if testing for a counterattack opportunity. But your blood is nearly drained, and your breath is weakening with each passing moment. Ultimately, under Niamhao's series of healing spells, the pressure mounted until it could no longer hold on. The White Wolf King collapsed, leaving behind a treasure chest of coins rolling onto the ground. Niamhao's level also skyrocketed as a result. It clearly displayed that he had reached level 5 right on the spot. The system unexpectedly assessed Niamhao at level 3S and awarded him an additional silver chest, while also announcing it to the entire school. The level 3S assessment appeared before everyone's eyes. Students everywhere were shocked, discussing who had achieved this unprecedented feat. Over here, Niamhao immediately opened the silver treasure chest he had just received. Inside, there was a skill book for the silver hair therapy. A silver shadow trident and 5 free attribute points also fell into his hands. Niamhao hesitated to learn the skill book and even planned to sell the silver shadow trident for money. The silver equipment could fetch a good price, and he allocated all 5 attribute points into intelligence as planned. After handling everything, Niamhao left the secret dungeon. Mok approached and quietly asked if he was the one who achieved a 3-star rating. Tu Mao, standing nearby, scoffed, saying that there was no way this useless priest could do that, probably running out before even seeing the rewards. In response to the disdainful remarks, Niamhao couldn't hold back and took out the silver shadow trident for everyone to see. The entire area erupted into chaos at the site, with discussions buzzing non-stop. The silver equipment was the clearest evidence that Niamhao had cleared the dungeon. Tu Mao's expression changed completely, turning pale as if he had just swallowed something bitter. The system displayed information about the beginner's dungeon in the wolf forest, indicating beginner difficulty, recommending team formations, and warning about the aggressive wolves in the forest. Lambda looked at the description and pondered. Achieving a B rating with good coordination as a beginner was already impressive. He felt more at ease knowing there was a healing spring, but danger still lurked, especially since priests were often underestimated in strength. If anyone recklessly ventured deep into the forest and stepped into the forbidden area, Lambda knew the consequences. Failure meant losing one's life right in the dungeon. He looked at the energy in his hand and sighed. With divine-level talent, how could he accept mediocre achievements? He had to enter the forbidden area. The scene shifted to the deep forest, and as soon as he arrived, the system immediately displayed an important notification. Level 1. Wild Wolf. Stats and skills clearly displayed, characterized by group attacks and continuous bleeding, making players wary. Lambda smiled upon seeing the information, his eyes glinting as if he had already planned his moves. He gathered his strength to activate the reversal of heaven and earth. aimed his weapon at the wild wolf, and cast the healing spell. The system immediately reported the reversal effect. The healing spell transformed into damage absorption. The strike dealt 50 damage, killing the wild wolf without him taking any injuries, and he received 10 experience points. Another wolf charged at him, and he activated his protective shield to push it back. The system reminded him that the reversed bite helped him regain health, and the reversed bleeding also provided additional recovery. Lambda immediately charged forward. The reversal of heaven and earth activated, turning the cleansing spell into a forbidden one, locking the wild wolf in place and draining 30 mana. It quickly collapsed, and the system reported that the cleansing eliminated the mana and put the target in a state of action prohibition. He nodded, assessing the high effectiveness against monsters with low mana. Another wild wolf continued to charge. Lambda glanced at it and cast the healing spell. It was immediately hit, and the system reported 50 damage dealt and awarded 10 experience points. He thought that eliminating all the small monsters was enough to reach level 4 to face the hidden boss. Just then, the system announced that the cooldown for the healing spell was complete. He immediately raised his hand to cast it, dealing another 50 damage to the wild wolf, neatly earning 10 experience points. Lambda wiped the sweat from his brow, recalling the long preparation. He understood that in moments of life and death, levels no longer mattered. When the danger passed, the system notified him that he had exited combat mode. He immediately ordered the reversal of the universe and the purification spell to be turned off. The system responded that all values were full, then announced level 2, with all attributes increased, and his level 2 status board as a priest was clearly displayed. The skill list appeared, including healing spells, strategy theft, purification spells, and single-target banishment spells. Receiving 2 free points, he chose to allocate them all to intelligence, believing that increasing intelligence would help ensure safety, continuously restore mana, and maximize magical damage when the reversal was activated. As dawn broke, a new day unfolded after the long night. The principal looked at the map and was startled. That area was a forbidden zone. Could he be challenging the hidden boss? The Shadow Wolf King of level S. The more he thought about it, the stranger it seemed. If he wasn't seeking danger, then his talent must be very special. He stroked his beard and sighed, regretting that the boy did not publicly reveal his true talent. Now, he could only watch the other seed groups, hoping Lambda would return safely. Huang Tiante beside him chuckled, teasing him about betting, saying the kid might set a new record, then pointed down to discuss potential contestants. At that moment, the wild wolf was still charging forward. Huang Tiante shook his head. It was a good idea, but in actual combat, it was a bit clumsy. To Mok leaped up to cast the freezing spell, and the two accompanying her praised her strength. A barrage of ice arrows was launched to attack the target. The wild wolf fell immediately, but she noticed something unusual in the distance. Another pack of wolves was rushing toward her. She pulled the two people following her along, thinking that her goddess image was probably flying away. As she was running, she suddenly stopped. Mok turned around and shouted, while the two stepped back to let her take the front. Then she cast the resurrection spell, and a clone appeared to execute an attack. As she activated the spell, the pack of monsters immediately focused on her, and she used the freezing spell again. At this moment, she finally breathed a sigh of relief, considering herself safe. The principal stroked his beard in praise, while Huang Tiante replied that just having talent wasn't enough to progress far without experience. In the deep forest, a small rabbit was calmly grazing on grass. It suddenly startled and turned around, just as the system announced a new notification. Lambda leveled up to level 3 after defeating the wild wolf. He excitedly told himself that he just needed a little more to reach level 4. A loud noise came from the bushes, causing him to turn his head. That position was very close. He quickly hid behind the bushes to observe more closely. The system displayed information about the Shadow Wolf King of level 5, with all its stats and skills, describing it as a fierce hidden boss that had caused many geniuses to fail, which was why this forest was classified as a forbidden zone. Hiding behind a tree, he saw the pack of wild wolves still lingering near the Shadow Wolf King, as if patrolling. He knew they sometimes left their den to find convenient spots, and the frequency was high. This was an opportunity for him to take them down one by one, and then he unexpectedly ambushed one of the wolves. It was taken down immediately, and the system reported 50 damage and 10 experience points as usual. Excitement surged within him. The small monsters had now become an excellent source of experience. Once he leveled up enough, he would confront the Shadow Wolf King. The boss's minions were dwindling, while his levels steadily increased. He concentrated his power into his weapon, sweeping through the remaining wild wolves, leveling up to 4. The Shadow Wolf King turned around and noticed. Lambda laughed, finally seeing it. He spoke in a calm voice. He challenged it. The system displayed the boss stats showing damage levels far superior to a wild wolf. For a beginner, this was a death sentence. But he still looked straight at it. Lambda raised his hand to cast the Shadow Grasp without any hesitation. It growled softly. He responded leisurely, "Thank you. My body feels much better now." He silently noted that his divine-level talent turned every attack from it into healing for himself. Letting it attack was no problem. After a moment, the system reported that the healing spell was off cooldown. He said softly, "It's done." The Shadow Wolf King trembled as it took the hit. Its health began to visibly drop. He was startled to see it switch to a regular claw attack. But the boss's HP also dropped significantly with that strike. Suddenly, it curled its lips into a chillingly strange smile. He quietly said, "Have you figured it out?" But it was too late. The system immediately reported that the Shadow Wolf King was going berserk. He tightened his grip on his weapon, thinking that if he got surrounded, it would take quite a bit of effort, but now it was just him against it. Lambda confidently thought. The system reported that the cooldown was over, and a powerful explosive strike shook the earth and sky. The Shadow Wolf King collapsed. The system reported a reward of 1,000 experience points, leveling up to level 5, and began summarizing the rewards from the Wolf Forest. He received a low-grade treasure chest, completed all hidden quests, did not use any damage-dealing skills, defeated 30 wild wolves, achieved SSS rank, and received an upper-grade silver chest. He chuckled to himself, thinking it was lucky that the reverse didn't count. The system announced that a student had surpassed the Wolf Forest dungeon, completing a hidden achievement with an SAS rating. Everyone was stunned. What? People were bustling, asking each other who it was. The principal was also surprised. No one had ever achieved SSS before, except for Lambda, who was the only one to enter the Forbidden Zone. Huang Tiante was confused. It couldn't be. Achieving SSS required not dealing damage while still clearing the level. What was this? Tamak Mok was also surprised. She had barely passed with an A. She wondered who could achieve SSS, thinking it must be a transfer student. She thought about how Lambda was doing now, while he was extremely excited, feeling truly lucky. His eyes sparkled, if that's the case. Lambda clicked on the system, opened the silver chest, and received the skill book for the healing artifact. 5 attribute points, along with the silver dagger of shadows. The chest opened with blinding light, and the system continued to introduce the rewards. The silver dagger of shadows increased attack by 50, armor penetration by 10, and had a 5% chance to cause bleeding. The healing artifact skill reversed into a calamity, dealing wide area damage. He assessed the skill. Although the cooldown was long and it consumed mana, it was still an advantage at this early stage. He evaluated this as an extremely powerful AoE skill, combining purification spells to reduce cooldowns, far surpassing that of a mage. Holding the dagger, he thought about selling it to the second generation, considering it a personal expense. He couldn't keep relying on his uncle and aunt. The system reminded him of 5 free attribute points. Lambda was delighted because this point was truly precious, only obtainable from high evaluations or hidden chests. He calculated that if he didn't achieve S rank, there would be no rewards, but SSS would grant an additional 5 points. He couldn't miss this opportunity. He decided to allocate all of it to intelligence from now on. He would become the strongest calamity priest in the magic system. When the spatial gate opened, Huang Thufeng guessed that an SSS team was coming out. To his surprise, only Lambda stepped out, shocking everyone. Mok Mok rushed over to ask immediately, "Lambda, is that you?" A useless guy like him got that. Mok Mok is being a bit too generous. He probably couldn't handle it and ran back early just as they finished speaking. Lambda pulled out a dagger and asked if anyone needed weapons for an assassin. Everyone was stunned. "Seriously, do you have this equipment? That's level 7 gear." Lambda asked again, "Who wants to buy it?" The group scrambled to bid. "I'll buy it. I'm calling my dad to transfer the money. I offer 10,000. I offer 20,000. 20,000 for a rare item. I'll pay 50,000. Lambda considered it. This price seemed reasonable. He boldly announced 50,000 going once, 50,000 going twice. Suddenly, a girl offered 100,000. The whole group fell silent, unable to believe it. That was the amount a family lived on for years. He immediately agreed to the deal. A young man with red hair asked, "What level are you now?" Lambda replied straightforwardly, "Level 5. The group buzzed with questions about which team he joined. Did he really level up to 5 all by himself? He must have an SSS rating. Right. How could he have done that? The principal was about to speak but was interrupted. No way. He must have joined a team. Huang Tiante analyzed. It's impossible to clear it alone without causing damage. Even the top players would struggle. Seeing the young man with purple hair getting frustrated, someone beside him advised, "Do we really want to pick a fight now?" He gritted his teeth and said that this guy just got lucky. He must have used some trick. What could a priest do? Then he laughed mockingly. And at that moment, the principal spoke up. "The test is over. From now on, you are all apprentice professionals. The next 30 days will be the biggest milestone in your lives, the professional assessment," he said sternly. "In the future, you will either return to being ordinary people or become heroes against the demon tide. It's all up to you. In 1 month, you must enter the low-level secret realms designated by the school and reach level 10 or above." Lambda thought about it. The professional assessment required team play, and the evaluation would depend heavily on teamwork. He looked at Mok Mok. The goal for the team was clear. This girl, though cold on the outside, was the most dangerous because she was sincere and prone to making mistakes. He silently vowed that even if she awakened a strong talent, he would protect her because that was a promise to his uncle and aunt, and he didn't want the tragedies of the past to repeat. "So today," Lambda asked, "how about we skip dinner tonight and go to a dungeon together?" She exclaimed in surprise as the spatial gate opened. The system announced, "Secret Realm, Crystal Cave, levels 3 to 6. Choose the difficulty." The dungeon recommends teams of 5 to 10 people. There are many poisonous scorpions in the cave. While they aren't deadly, their tails contain troublesome venom. Try to defeat the Scorpion King before it goes berserk. Lambda chose the hard mode, analyzing that with increased difficulty. The monsters would be stronger, and the conditions to clear the dungeon would be tougher. But in return, the rewards would be more enticing, so it was worth the challenge. The beginner dungeon usually has 3 levels: normal, hard, and nightmare. But this cave initially only had the first 2 levels. Mok Mok hesitated. Even as a beginner, did he really want to play on hard mode? "Are you aiming for an SSS rating too?" He simply replied, "I believe in myself," she flusteredly explained. "It's not that I don't believe in you. I'm just afraid I won't dodge in time and cause trouble for you." Lambda calmly responded, "There's a way to skip the monsters." leaving her stunned. "You mean bypass the monsters and take a shortcut?" He nodded, having read the previous adventurer's notes and calculated a safe route. She looked at Lambda with admiration, as if everything was already clear in his mind. Mok suddenly remembered that she always knew Lambda was hiding his true strength. He had memorized the dungeon data long ago and scored perfectly in theoretical tests. Yet, he was underestimated. Lambda noticed her standing there in a daze and reminded her, "What are you waiting for? Let's go." She jumped up and followed him, thinking to herself that she always believed he would be the one to change the world. The scene shifted into the Crystal Cave dungeon. She marveled at the scenery, while Lambda warned that this place was even more dangerous than the previous one. The system announced that the team was short on members, forcing a group merge with other players, which surprised Lambda. He became more serious now. In addition to monsters, they had to compete with others and stay alert. Suddenly, an explosion rang out, startling both of them, and the young man with purple hair was severely injured. He was thrown far away, coughing up blood, leaving Lambda stunned as well. The system displayed the monster. Level 3, Poison Scorpion. Possessing deadly skills like Venomous Bite, Harden, and a Paralysis Stinger. Being hit multiple times would cause heart paralysis. Lambda was taken aback, not expecting such a small monster could nearly wipe out the entire team. While the young man trembled as he looked at them, he shouted, "Lambda, hurry and help. Have you forgotten the support rule?" Lambda coldly replied, "Take care of yourself." The guy angrily cursed, "Cheap priest." Lambda didn't care and told Mok to go this way. Lambda emphasized that the scorpions here were afraid of water, all being melee fighters with no ranged attacks. As long as she followed him, she would be safe. She immediately responded, "Okay," and he smiled, saying, "There's one more thing to remember. They are also extremely sensitive to sound," he said, then used the stealth technique to eliminate one instantly. Mok was astonished. "Is this your innate ability? Then the SAS rating is." Before he could finish, he signaled for silence, then explained, "To successfully skip class, we must completely avoid the monster's line of sight." The two reached the map bug position, and Lambda landed from the air. He observed, confirming the area had a small stream. The water was harmless and drinkable, then dove down before her eyes. He called out, "Jump down." She stood still for a moment, thinking. Then she jumped after him, swimming quickly in the direction he indicated. She soon reached the opposite shore, breathing heavily on the shore. He raised his hand, holding a stone, his eyes focused on the ground. He gathered strength and struck down hard. The ground trembled, and strange sounds emerged from below. The group panicked. "What is happening?" The water's surface began to bubble, and the system displayed information about the king poison scorpion. Level 6, gigantic, with extremely toxic venom. "It's very dangerous. Be careful." Lambda calmly waved his hand. "Come here." It swung its pincers, and he merely smiled. "If you guys are too scared to fight, then let us handle it." He unleashed a devastating attack, wiping out 100 scorpions and earning 2,000 experience points. The entire team was stunned. How could a priest deal such damage? Scorpions that previously required the whole team to take down were now like prey. Mok also joined in, using her innate ability, life-reviving rain. She killed an additional 50 scorpions, gaining 500 more experience points. The system updated, announcing that all scorpions had been eliminated, and Mok leveled up to level 4, receiving 1 attribute point. She was surprised at how quickly she leveled up, while he looked ahead and said, "Now it's the King Scorpion's turn." Lambda quietly sighed. Truly the King of Scorpions. Its strength and water resistance far surpassed that of ordinary monsters. When? Mok unleashed her skill. The system reported that the Ice Freeze spell only dealt 10 damage. She was stunned. Its defense was too thick, and just one mistake could be dangerous. He reassured her, Its weakness was located in the belly during the second blood phase, and we could exploit that. He pulled her to dodge the attack, then seized the opportunity to counterattack. The tail of the king scorpion swung down into the water, creating large waves. Lambda landed to direct. Mok Mok prepared to move to a new position. She immediately responded, while he cast the tactical theft spell again. Its health dropped, and the tactical theft spell dealt 150 damage to the king scorpion. He frowned and commented, "Its armor is indeed tough," his eyes never leaving its every movement. Very quickly he noticed the right moment. It was now that Mok Mok used Ice Freeze. He dodged the attack and explained, only when it used this skill would it lift its belly and reveal its weakness. He immediately struck, dealing 1,000 damage in a critical hit. To Mok Mok joyfully praised him, and the system instantly updated the information. The king scorpion was defeated, earning 3,000 experience, completing the dungeon, leveling up to level 6, achieving SSS for fulfilling all hidden conditions, not getting poisoned, clearing all monsters, receiving a gold chest and 5 free points. The status board for the priest appeared fully. The divine artifact and calamity descending made everyone admire him. The young man with purple hair knelt down, calling him the elder, while the group behind also cried and begged to follow. Teacher Lion An warned the group, "Today's events must be kept secret." Lambda just smiled and said, "Don't speak of it outside." Before teleporting, he reminded one last time, "If the news leaks, you will face the consequences." In the teleportation space, he suggested opening the chest immediately. The system reported receiving the skill Poison Cannon for mages, golden equipment, wind speed boots, the hunter's great sword, and a silver jade ring, plus 5 free points. To Mok Mok gasped, 5 attribute points. No wonder his stats were so high. The information about the poison cannon skill appeared. The poison shadow dealt damage and then exploded, inflicting poison status, while the jade ring reduced cooldowns by 10% for all skills. Her eyes sparkled in admiration. The gold chest was indeed rich. Lambda was also surprised. Both pieces of gold equipment were extremely powerful, but the most valuable was the silver ring that reduced cooldowns, which could even be auctioned for hundreds of thousands. He handed her the poison cannon book, saying it was usable by mages. Mok Mok asked in surprise, "A poison skill, but I chose the ice element." She happily accepted the book, but when she looked closely, she was startled. The information board reported the activation of the hidden talent Master of 5 Elements. With a progress of 2 out of 5, she felt a surge of power rising. Lambda smirked. "Interesting. It seems you need to collect more attribute skills. That will be your trump card." She excitedly replied, "My trump card." He nodded and said, "Let's go. We can leave the dungeon now." She curiously asked about the point allocation, and he lightly replied, "My method won't suit you." In the new area, the newcomers were discussing, "Can newcomers really clear the outside dungeon? It sounds scary, not to mention the terrifying poisonous scorpion." Another group whispered, "There's the goddess Mok Mok, and the person next to her is Lambda. There are rumors that the SSS score is due to him, and he also sold the dagger for 100,000. Suddenly, a supercar screeched to a halt, startling everyone with the sound. Huang Thieu Fong appeared, stepping down with arrogance, while Trio Kai Hung immediately reminded him not to cause trouble. Mok Mok saw this and quickly pulled Lambda's hand, urging him to hurry, which surprised him and made him ask back. She replied irritably, "That guy is really annoying," thinking to herself that he uses his family's influence to bully female students and forces others to grind dungeons. Not letting them go far, he called out, "Classmates." Wait a moment. He appeared friendly, introducing himself as Huang Thieu Fong, the heir to the corporation. The new players buzzed about his reputation and infamy. Muk Muk coldly replied, "No, I already have a boyfriend." Huang Thieu Fong's face darkened as he looked at Lambda and sneered, dressed so cheaply, yet wanting to compare with her. Lambda merely sighed. already being used as a target again. He angrily intended to strike, but as soon as he raised his hand, Lambda immediately blocked him. He stared in disbelief. He slightly curled his lips in resentment, angrily using his skill to charge forward. Lambda calmly used the reverse skill to deflect the attack. His strength immediately rebounded back at him, causing him to cry out in pain. He gritted his teeth and yelled, "What trick are you using?" Lambda replied nonchalantly, "I didn't do anything. Everyone saw it. The priest has no damage." Muck. Standing behind was even more certain. This is indeed Lambda's talent. Huang Thufeng shouted, immediately getting up to counterattack. Just as he steadied himself, he was hit again, staggering and yelling, "The bastard is playing dirty." Lambda remained calm, just testing whether the reverse skill affects the class. Evaluating. The skill not only dealt damage but also caused side effects, and he hadn't even used half his strength. Huang Thufeng angrily shouted, "If you have the guts, fight me one-on-one. Are you afraid?" "There's still time. Bow your head and call me Dad." Triu Kai Hong stepped in to intervene. "Wait. In a class battle, you can't use awakening skills." He was surprised. A priest could severely injure Huang Thufeng even though he was fully equipped with top-notch gear. Everyone was buzzing. The forum was in an uproar because Lambda soloed the dungeon and jumped straight to level 5. Achieving that on the first day after awakening is truly unbelievable. Trio Kai Hong curiously asked, "Who are you?" Then quickly apologized for his friend, but he also doubted. If rumors spread like this, it couldn't be made up. Lambda replied, "I just don't want to ruin class relations. It's just that this person is not satisfied." Huang Thufeng continued to roar, "Trio Kai Hang, what are you apologizing for? Aren't you going to help me teach him a lesson? Hey, what are you doing?" Trio Kai Hang drew a calming talisman for him and explained, "This is the young master of the Huang family. Today's incident isn't over. He will definitely cause trouble." He advised Lambda, "Don't come to school this month. There's 50,000 here. Call it an apology. If you need to level up, I will arrange it, ensuring you're ready for the exam." "But I hope you stay away from him for a while," Lambda replied. "I can't promise that," Trio Kai Hang thought to himself. This person is not weak-willed and doesn't like to make enemies. Wanting to clarify everything, he reminded himself, "If someone doesn't offend me, I won't offend them," but he also wanted to see how many people he could call to cause trouble. Lambda thought to himself, "It's also a good opportunity to test the combat power of the Calamity descending." Breaking news, the Stone Cave dungeon on hard mode was cleared in just 1 minute and 30 seconds. The European map, the Great Hunting Sword, silver weapons, negotiable. The SSS level dungeon guide is priced at 5,000 alliance coins. 10 likes, someone asked. "Is the attribute stone for sale?" Muck worriedly said, "Lambda, can it really sell for such a high price?" Lambda confidently replied, "Trust me, no one will refuse free attribute points." The bald young man said, "The terrain in the cave is very dark, cooperation is limited, reaching SSS is nearly impossible." A loud voice chimed in, "Let's try buying it and see." The girl with orange hair said, "Attribute points are worth it." The guy in the blue shirt cheered. Someone already bought it. The system reported, received 5,000 alliance coins. 3 minutes later, his hammer upgraded. He shouted loudly, "I did it." Reached SSS level, although it took 2 minutes, but it's still good for a first try. If I control the time better, it could be faster. Everyone was amazed. Really, that was so fast. Combining with the naval team would be very profitable. The system reported again, received another 5,000 alliance coins. The forum was in chaos, such a simple method that no one had thought of. One person said, "Stop making excuses. The big shot should promote it more widely. Charging a reasonable fee, no one would object. Dropping out of school can't be that simple, right?" The system continued to report receiving an additional 5,000 alliance coins. Shares and likes skyrocketed. The mysterious Big Shots post caused a storm. Everyone wanted to reach SS without effort. The crowd rushed in to see. Following the Big Shot would yield attribute points. Muck panicked, just added another 100 orders. That makes 500,000 now. At a large old house, the system displayed the news of clearing the dungeon on hard mode in 1 minute and 30 seconds. The European map, the attribute stone, the great hunting sword. An enigmatic person looked at the screen and said, "Interesting. Have you found out who posted it?" The subordinate replied, "Not yet." He used a technique to conceal his identity, but it has been confirmed that the IP is from the Jiangthan Vocational Academy. The guy laughed, saying that this year the school has a lot of interesting stories. Someone asked, "There's a big brother who wants to buy your great sword." Lambda replied, 80,000. "No bargaining," the other person responded. "Is it that cheap? Let's make the deal right away. I'll be there in 3 minutes." Lambda nodded, agreeing to meet at the entrance of the dungeon school. Mok was excited. "Lambda, you're about to earn nearly 300,000. Lambda remained calm. "It's all part of the plan. Valuable items, getting free promotion." He pondered, but he still needed more dungeons. As silver gear would soon become outdated, he reminded himself, having strong items without skills would still lead to failure in real battles. She sensed it. How precious the time before the exam was. Why was he so focused on grinding for items and making money? He smiled, recalling his goal. Lambda replied, "It's because I want to protect the most important person, the one who has always protected me." He remembered. In his previous life, he had no parents, didn't understand familial love, played games for 18 hours straight before crossing over here, and it turned out to be a stroke of luck. He felt proud, because now he had loving parents. Who would protect him with their lives? He etched in his mind. 10 years ago, after the demon tide, relatives wanted to seize the inheritance, wishing he would die like his parents. Their true faces were revealed, aiming to rob him blind. He struggled like a mantis in front of a car, eventually escaping, but then his uncle and aunt came, taking him back. They cared for him like their own child, helping him reclaim his inheritance, not letting him harbor hatred, bringing those people to court. Suddenly, the crowd shouted, "Hurry up! Someone is selling cheap equipment at the park." He deeply realized, without them, he wouldn't be living like this now. He would have endured so much bitterness, so he had to grow stronger to protect them. A female voice rang out, "Hello!" Lambda turned to look. She asked, "You're the one selling the hunter's great sword?" "Huh, right. I'm Bakchi, from Jiangthan Academy." He was suspicious, a student from that school. "No transactions through intermediaries," she hurriedly replied. "I'm the original owner. Sorry, my battery just died." She continued, "I'm the original owner, Big Brother Muscular, a great sword user." Lambda was slightly doubtful. Can this body really wield a great sword? He thought to himself. Is it all added to strength? Then he handed her the sword stats for her to check carefully. After saying that, he tossed the great sword toward her. Bakchi quickly caught it without any hesitation. He thought, she really is someone with strength. Spot on. Bakchi asked again, "Is it really just 80,000? This is a silver graduation item. It should be worth more than 200,000 on the market." He replied nonchalantly. "Didn't your teachers teach you how to price things?" She stammered. "I've always been bad at math since I was little. I'm not good with money." He gently reminded her, "Remember to ask the price before buying anything in the future. Don't let yourself be fooled." She nodded in thanks, then shyly said, "I want to thank you for selling it so cheap." The system displayed, "You received 80,000. Your account exceeds 1 million. Upgraded to gold card." Lambda flatly refused. "It's just a transaction. If you need anything, just come to me." As he turned away, he unexpectedly stumbled into Bakchi's hand. The system popped up. "You have been granted a mysterious power, receiving an additional special effect from the goddess of luck." He felt it immediately. "This must be your talent." Bakchi excitedly replied, "That's right. This is my talent, and it can be upgraded too." "So, can I join the team of the big boss?" Seeing Bakchi blush, he thought, this luck-increasing talent is rarer than legends. Strategically speaking, it's incredibly strong. Lambda considered. This talent doesn't limit the quality of chests when clearing dungeons. Even someone with a bad talent can open a mythical chest thanks to that effect. While he was thinking, he suddenly asked again, "By the way, have you told anyone about this talent?" She shook her head immediately. "No, I haven't told anyone at all." Hearing that, he felt relieved. Good. And also, does this talent have any limits? Bakchi nodded. Yes, it does. You can only use it 3 times a week, once for each person. Hearing this, he sternly warned, "Don't let anyone know, or you'll be exploited, because people's hearts can be treacherous." His words made her shiver. Is it that scary? Luckily, I haven't said anything. He knew she didn't fully understand the value of that. So he explained, "Your buff is extremely rare. If it gets out, professional players will fight over it, even losing your freedom," he emphasized. The professional alliance isn't necessarily a safe place, even though it's a large organization fighting against the demon tide. It's filled with factions, constant infighting, and schemes. Therefore, come join my team. We will take care of you. Hearing this, Bakchi was overjoyed. Really? Is it really possible? He smiled and extended his hand. Yes, I am Lambda. Welcome to the team. After recruiting the new member, he said, "Let me introduce you to the teammates a bit." Bakchi was incredibly happy. Great. Because no one believed I was strong, so no one formed a team. He laughed at that. A tiny person using a great sword. Who would believe it? Moments later, Tamak exclaimed, "So this is the muscular big brother you just found?" "Huh," she shyly said. "Hello. I'm Bakchi, meeting the newcomer." She smiled and shook hands. "Nice to meet you. You're Tamak." Right. Seeing the beautiful girl, Bakchi's eyes lit up. "You're really pretty, and your hands are so soft." But then, Tamak suddenly remembered something. She glanced at him suspiciously, thinking, "I'm so adorable. Is this guy Lambda having some weird thoughts? He seemed vague. What is he trying to pull?" Then he thought, maybe he should invite everyone to continue the dungeon. Tamak asked in surprise, "What? Which dungeon?" Lambda replied, "The Goblin City, Nightmare level. Since everyone can gain attribute points, I will go in first, solo, and optimize my power for everyone." Hearing this, Tamak was stunned. "Wait, you're going into a Nightmare level dungeon by yourself?" The Nightmare level is the highest difficulty for beginners, with rich rewards, chests dropping all gold or higher, and the monster's attributes are also significantly stronger. Even a team can easily be wiped out. This is a life or death gamble. Her face turned serious. She couldn't take that risk. "Do you want to meet your ancestors already? Even if you're strong, you shouldn't go into a Nightmare level dungeon alone." But he smiled and waved it off. Mok. "It's fine. Don't you trust me?" She grabbed his collar. "I trust you. But the Nightmare Goblins can easily take down even high-level professionals. Even at level 10, there are people above that who get seriously injured. It's been a long time since anyone dared to solo." Baichi thought of something. "Oh, great god Lambda. Mok goddess, I just remembered something. Excuse me, I'll go ahead. You two can talk." After a bit of persuasion, he calmed Mok down. "Don't be upset, I know you're worried. The previous difficult dungeons were the same. Just go eat first." Mok. In his mind, he calculated. Mok was opposing too fiercely, so he had to trick her lightly and sneak away. After a while, she finally agreed. "Fine, but if you don't, I'll tell my parents. I'm listening to you." But she still had her doubts. Could Lambda really be that easy to convince? During this time, a hot piece of news spread, claiming that the strongest new player had just appeared in this year's examination. Not just rumors. Someone had cleared a secret realm alone. Last night, I received images from the Academy dungeon. Everyone was discussing whether it was true or not. The figure looked ordinary. Experts said you can't solo a dungeon like that. Why do people keep thinking it's a guy? It could be a girl. I guess it's Mok Mok. A powerful mage, but rare. That's a reasonable comment. I also think there's no way the strongest rookie exists, but I'm a student from this batch, and there really is someone who soloed, even though I forgot the name. I'm sure they passed the level. If someone can do that alone, they must be top tier. Is it some young master or young lady? Many people guess it's Hoang Thu Fong from the Hoang Corporation. ECU, looking broader. It must be from the #1 academy in Jiang City. But the whole country is vast. Who knows if there are experts elsewhere? Anyone who solos a dungeon and gets hidden chests is definitely the coolest rookie of the year. The entire process was injury-free, with incredible talent and an analytical mind for dungeons. There's a picture. Look, they're trading something. It's a great hunter sword. That person is indeed a powerhouse, a student from the #1 academy in Jiang City. Seeing Mok Mok glued to her phone, he asked, "What are you looking at? Eat already." She didn't respond, so he snatched the device, causing Mok Mok to irritably call out "Lam Da" during the meal. Her mother kept serving food for both of them. "You two have been working hard lately. Eat more. Keep your strength up." She smiled and said, "Yes, Mom." Lambda also politely replied, "Thank you, ma'am." Her father asked, "How does little Da find the training exam? Is everything going smoothly?" He nodded. "Yes, everything is good," he recalled. "You've always wanted to be stronger since you were little. Everyone knows. Once you decide, no one can stop you. But remember not to overdo it, because everything is fragile." Hearing this, he teased back, "Uncle, who told you that?" He laughed. "The person sitting right in front of you." Mok Mok blushed. "Dad, why did you say that out loud?" Her mother said, "We don't stop you from pursuing anything. We just hope you're like Mok Mok. Living peacefully is good enough." Mok Mok pouted. "I'm not like that." He nodded. "Yes, I will learn from Mok Mok to be a little fish living in peace." She frowned and asked, "Why does that sound like you're teasing me?" He laughed. "Just kidding. Your uncle can rest easy. I won't do anything beyond my abilities." He was satisfied. "Good. Remember, this house is your support." But Lambda refused. "I have enough money already. Just let you and your uncle keep it." They hesitated. "Little Da," Mok Mok's mother said sternly, "the upcoming exam will be very expensive. If you don't take it, I'll be angry." He quickly replied, "Yes, yes, please don't be angry." So he reluctantly accepted the card back, feeling grateful. "See? Mom and Dad, thanks to them, I live well." Deep in his heart, he wanted to hold on to this precious life even more. That was his motivation to become stronger. Now, Lambda was ready to face the challenge. Nightmare-level dungeon, here I come, at Hoang Thu Fong's house. Curses echoed everywhere. "Damn your grandfather, Trio Kai Hang, daring to play behind my back." Trio Kai Hang calmly replied, "I saved you back then. I helped pay a bit. Without me, you would probably be in the hospital." Hearing this, he shouted, "Do I need your help? You're just trash." His voice trembled with anger. "If I had full gear, it would be different." At this moment, Trio Kai Hang turned away. "Go rest." Hoang Thu Fong angrily grabbed a glass of water and smashed it. "It's because of you that I lost face. Get lost. Don't call me brother." On the contrary, Trio Kai Hang didn't care. "Do you think being a young master of Hoang Corporation means you can have whatever you want? Uncle Hoang told me to take care of you. I shouldn't have agreed. You should have been beaten up to come to your senses, to the point where even your mother wouldn't recognize you." The corner of his mouth curled slightly. "Oh, I forgot. There's one more thing." He emphasized each word. "You don't have a mother." Hoang Thu Fong's anger flared up. He shouted loudly, "Good. If you're leaving, don't come back. A waste like you doesn't deserve to be my brother." Trio Kai Hang just laughed disdainfully. Hoang Thu Fong, You don't even know who you just messed with. A rookie who just appeared has already made you lose badly without even using active skills. Rumors say he soloed a dungeon. No one has confirmed it, but recently, a mysterious figure has risen. He's selling power and gold tier items, causing students to form discussion groups. There has never been two rookies as formidable as this at the same time in Jiang City. You understand the odds. Huang Thufang called, ordering, "Take care of one. Call all the brothers. Gear up to the teeth. If you need anything, just say it. Money is not an issue." Thinking back made him even angrier. He said, "Don't worry. If anything happens, I'll handle it. Just teach that arrogant kid a lesson, so he knows who the real boss is at Jiang City Academy." In the first level of the Misty Forest dungeon, Lambda stepped in, and the information panel lit up. Goblin Underground City, Level 5. Nightmare Dungeon. Dark Maze. Home to the goblins. It consists of 5 levels. The deeper you go, the stronger the goblins become. If you can't get past the last level, you should retreat immediately. Or you'll end up empty-handed. If you can't pass the last level, there won't be any items, in my opinion. The Goblin Dungeon is the hardest dungeon at this stage. Due to the long duration and unreasonable requirements, even strong classes hesitate to farm equipment and attribute points here. Moreover, each level only has 10 minutes, and the 5th level has a hidden boss, the Goblin King. The countdown has begun. 30 seconds left. Prepare to eliminate the goblin soldiers. Lambda ventured deeper for 2 minutes and 5 seconds, encountering the Goblin Captain. The result was satisfactory, just as expected. 3 minutes and 59 seconds to clear the level. While running, he suddenly stopped, called upon the healing artifact. Calamity struck. Warning bells rang. The level up panel appeared. The artifact leveled up to level 2. He was level 6. With full attributes, healing skills, purification, and calamity level 2. He was satisfied, having cleared the first level in less than 5 minutes. The method of gathering monsters on the first level seemed very effective. Although the damage was not high, there were still 5 minutes to increase the output before the next battle. All the monsters on the 2nd and 3rd levels of goblins had been wiped out. The 4th level was also done. Lambda immediately descended to the 5th level. In the Goblin Palace, the Goblin King awaited. "Do you dare invade my territory?" Level 8, high stats, powerful skills. He wondered, did I encounter the boss right away? Aren't there any smaller monsters? The Goblin King did not hesitate, shouted, "Die!" Unleashing a seismic strike, truly a dungeon lord. Terrifying power. Solid gold armor, wide-reaching spear, slow speed, but no weak points. Upon entry, he unleashed an AoE attack, forcing him to dodge to the side, lying low to reduce damage. Lambda used the seismic damage reversal, recovering 1,521 HP. The reverse wave restored an additional 479 HP. Leaving the opponent stunned, he counterattacked, using healing to steal, deducting 200 HP from the goblin. The Goblin King gritted his teeth. He struggled to hold on. Lambda smiled in satisfaction. The Goblin King used the Dragon Spear, and he reversed the effect. Recovering 200 HP, his attack power temporarily increased by 40 points. The goblin lunged forward. He reversed the effect, recovering 140 HP, escaping the knock-up state. The Goblin King was surprised. Is my skill useless? The Goblin King became furious, entering a berserk state. His voice echoed, "I've found your weakness. All troops, attack." He sighed. This nightmare boss is truly difficult to deal with. But it wasn't time to unleash the final move yet. Suddenly, Lambda's eyes widened. The Goblin King shouted, "Attacking this guy doesn't need skills. Torture him with normal attacks. Let's see how long he can endure." Both sides charged into a fierce battle. The Goblin King did not stop, unleashing the skill-crippling wind, demon steps. The soldiers also concentrated their damage. A rain of arrows shot down. He scoffed. Even if he got hit, it wouldn't matter. He immediately called upon the healing artifact. His clothes were tattered, but his body was unharmed. The Goblin King roared, "What's going on?" Lambda shot him a cold glance. Damn it, what's with that look? Lambda counterattacked, continuously using the reverse healing and steal life skills. After provoking, he turned and ran away. The Goblin King shouted angrily, "Stop! Fight me like a true warrior." Lambda sneered, "Where's your warrior spirit?" Then he turned back for a direct confrontation. Gripping his weapon tightly, he charged forward to counterattack, unleashing the reverse healing divine artifact and the calamity descending. The Goblin King stared in disbelief. Impossible. This is divine power. How can a human possess it? Lambda remained calm, assessing. This time it's over. A bright red pillar of light descended from above. His voice was light. That was fast. The Goblin King screamed in madness. The system announced, "The entire Goblin army has been wiped out," earning 1,000 experience points. The Goblin King's HP was reduced to 1%, falling into a near-death state, with attributes and desire to attack greatly diminished. The Goblin King trembled and mumbled, "It's over for me. My life has come to an end." Lambda did not stop, continuing to unleash the reverse healing skill to seize life force. The skill concluded, and the system reported continuously. Goblin King defeated. Received 5,000 experience points, leveled up to level 7, completed the Nightmare Dungeon, summarized rewards, completed hidden conditions, received an SSL rating, and the Goddess of Luck took notice, upgrading the treasure chest from gold to platinum. He smiled faintly. Indeed, the carp transformed into a dragon. Baichi's blessing skill was extraordinary. The treasure chest upgraded from gold to platinum, and with 20 hours left, there was enough time to clear the dungeon again. The system asked if he wanted to open the treasure chest. He chose Open. The screen lit up, receiving the Platinum Holy Light skill, the Harmonizing Flame item, 15 free attribute points, equipping the Platinum Shimmering Stone, the skill of the Divine Stars, and the Gold Sandstorm bow. Holy Light, a Platinum skill, requires a priest or a Holy Light mage, consumes a large amount of mana, deals magical damage, and has effects that counter undead and demons. The Harmonizing Flame at gold level deals 300 damage when thrown. The Shimmering Stone, platinum level, cannot be forged. Increases all attributes by 20 points. Active skill, teleportation of 10 meters. Recharges every 5 minutes. Can be stored 3 times. The Divine Stars skill, platinum level, requires a level 5 priest. Intelligence 20, summons bright stars around the team within 20 meters, restores 300 HP, creates a damage immunity effect for 5 seconds, and reduces damage by 10%. The Sandstorm bow, when fired, has a chance to summon a sandstorm, dealing additional earth elemental damage. A weapon specifically for archers. Looking at the series of loot, he felt satisfied. 2 platinum skill books, 1 platinum equipment, and the Holy Light skill with counter attributes. The Shimmering Stone was a rare teleportation skill and bonus points. The Divine Stars not only provided wide area healing but also buffed damage immunity for the entire team. If combined with the Cosmic Reversal skill, it would become a wide area damage skill, activating quickly, and even increase the damage received by enemies. Even the toughest monsters wouldn't stand a chance. A strategic skill for the entire team had emerged. First, he would learn the Divine Stars, and the Holy Light could wait. If he couldn't use it yet, he would learn it later. After all, he still had few skills. The system asked again, "Are you sure you want to allocate 15 attribute points to intelligence?" Lambda decided. "Allocate all, immediately." The system reported. Learned the Divine Stars skill. Equipped the Shimmering Stone, increasing all attributes by an additional 20 points. After finishing, Lambda stepped out of the dungeon. This time's results were exceptional. A significant upgrade. Name: Lambda. Profession: Priest. Level 7. Attributes: Strength 10 out of 20. Physique 10 out of 20. Intelligence 42 out of 20. Spirit 10 out of 20. Speed 10 out of 20. Equipment: Windwalker boots, Shimmering stone, Jade Guardian, Cosmic reversal, Single target skills, Healing, Steel life, Support, Purification, Forbidden curse, Wide area, Divine healing artifact, Calamity descending. Level 2. The divine stars had not been activated yet when a strange voice rang out. Caught in the act, he turned to look, just in time to see someone else arriving at the dungeon. To Mok. Mok frowned. What was Lambda still pretending for? Then she sighed softly, as if suddenly remembering. To Mok, Mok asked, "Did you clear the Nightmare Goblin dungeon?" Lambda raised his hand in confirmation. She felt a bit disappointed. She had planned to try it too, but had only thought about it. He teased her. "So that's it. Are you staying in this area for the next 10 days? To Mok Mok's lips pressed together slightly. Just then, a vehicle sped by, rushing to the final teleport point, then stopped. The others saw Lambda and shouted, "It's him! That face looks like it's inviting a punch." Huang Thufeng gritted his teeth. "Deal with him for me." But his companions remained silent, making him furious and glare at them. He grabbed someone else's hair and shouted, "Hey, I'm talking about you. Are you stupid?" Things were not looking good. The other person trembled in fear. "I can't do it," Huang Thufeng continued to yell. "I knew you useless students couldn't be relied on." At the same time, he smiled sinisterly, glad he had prepared in advance. After a tiring day, Lambda sat in front of the computer, posting an ad. Holy Light, Sandstorm Bow, Level 5. Nightmare Goblin Dungeon Power. Price 8,000 Alliance coins. Requires unlocking. As soon as he posted, the comments exploded. The big shot has appeared again, clearing the Nightmare Dungeon alone, guaranteeing level A to S, even SSS? Right. Oh, great one. Take me with you next time. I've never dared to try Nightmare before. Really need those free attribute points. Gathering monsters takes 7 minutes. After all, have you seen the time it takes for the Elder to pass the level? 4.5 minutes. All right, I'm going to give it a try right now. The Goblin Hate range skill is surprisingly precise. I need to time the cooldown just right to maximize damage. If there aren't enough monsters, the skill is wasted. What kind of nightmare level is this? The Elder is the real nightmare for goblins. Not long after, the paparazzi released photos. The admin is Lambda, a student from the vocational academy, the strongest contestant of the year, who once sold a greatsword to a hunter, the only one to clear an SAS dungeon solo, accompanied by 3 photos. Viewers threw stones. What do those 3 photos prove? The newbie dungeon is acceptable, but the Crystal Cave and Goblin dungeon at nightmare level. A student cleared it alone. I'm speechless. This kind of paparazzi is really brainless. After Lambda awakened his divine cover, he became very mysterious. Choosing the priest profession is even harder to predict. I remember he once sold a dark dagger, theoretically. The god score should definitely be maxed out. But in reality, Lambda is quite ordinary. I agree with the expose. He's just a student. Compared to high-level fake professions, he's far behind. He relies on the monster hate range and the terrain of the secret realm to calculate accurately, which allows him to control the monster's direction. Moreover, as a priest, doesn't he need purification skills like Holy Light? Orders are coming in. 100,000 Alliance coins for Holy Light. 150,000 for the Sandstorm Bow. Are you considering it? He immediately sold both. The bank sent a message. Gold card customer, plus 500,000 Alliance coins, totaling 1,500,000. Looking at the balance, he was also surprised. This might be the only way to clear the level without getting hurt, except for the boss. But no one else has managed it. The power he generates is something no one dares to learn. No problem. The Nightmare level dungeon is a milestone for upgrading equipment and personal data. Money is secondary. Looking at the card. The koi effect has 15 hours left, he calculated. Took the opportunity to rest and recover, then continued the fight. Finally, after the transaction, he stood up. Lambda stretched, deciding to go for a run to relax and also improve his physical fitness. As night fell, he continued to persist in running at the park near his home. At the same time, a car suddenly rushed in from somewhere. He turned around, the car sped close to him and then suddenly stopped. He was a bit surprised. Huang Thiu Fong, his friend, spoke up. What a coincidence? Get in the car, I'll take you to this place. Lambda lightly reminded. Trio Kai Hong warned not to provoke me. I don't like trouble, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid. Huang Thiu Fong jumped out of the car and shouted, "Damn it! Don't mention that traitor's name again." His buddies chimed in. Stop being so chatty. Huang Thiu wants to fight one-on-one. If you refuse, your whole family will be scared. Lambda was surprised. You even came to my house. He smirked. Fine then. He continued. I hope you don't lose and cry for backup. He angrily replied. What the hell? Are you framing me? Huang Thiu Fong grabbed his teammate's shirt. Don't intervene later. I want to solo. The guy trembled a bit. What if you can't win? He shouted. The outfit I'm wearing is something that poor guy can't earn in his lifetime. How could I lose? Get out of the way. Lambda looked coldly. So you're calling for backup? The group whispered. Stick to the plan. The guy confirmed. Got it. Lambda began to lose patience. How many people are coming? I'm busy. I don't have time to waste. Hearing this, Huang Thiu Fong was speechless. Just wait. Soon you'll regret it. He also said, I will make you crawl on the ground like a dog. Lambda silently thought. Let's see who suffers more. In the quiet night, the three got in the car and left, stopping in the middle of the forest. The people inside saw them arrive and shouted, Boss, Huang Thiu is here. Lambda looked around, excited. Is it that crowded? Hurry up and choose, one-on-one or a group fight. Huang Thiu Fong sneered, one-on-one. He drew a diamond-level sword. We'll each fight you one by one. In Lambda's eyes, there was nothing special. It was pretty much what he expected. Everything was still the same. He displayed his disdain. Standing tall, Huang Thiu Fong growled, Die for me. Lambda immediately set up a formation, preparing to engage. He charged in, blocking a flurry of blows. His speed was so fast that everyone was stunned. Lambda dodged to the side, causing the group to fall into chaos. Then, suddenly, one guy rushed in to deliver a surprise attack, trying to ambush. Despite the strong blow, he dodged neatly. He smirked, thinking that just because there are many people doesn't mean they're stronger. He must use his innate ability to reverse the situation. Watching the chaos he created, they burst into laughter. The little milk drinker, lucky to get this far. Just then, Lambda's weapon emitted a strange cold aura. A light mist swept through, causing everyone to shiver. The once fierce group now clutched their chests, gasping for breath, blood seeping out, and no one understood what had happened. What is this? Only Lambda knew. He hadn't even struck yet. But the reverse healing had stripped away the golden level equipment's defense. Seeing his teammates in despair, the others frantically asked, How are you doing? Boss, he tried to reassure them. I can still hold on. Forget that guy's move. He's just a pastor. We have the numbers, all dressed in gold. Let's charge in and knock him away. The rest responded in unison, understood, and rushed in from all directions. Iron Fist, Flying Kick, Blazing Fire Cannon, Heavenly Leaf Heavy Harmony. Watching that reckless move, he just smiled lightly. A voice rang out. The divine constellations are reversing. The others stared in disbelief. What is this? What is happening? Lambda activated the fall of heaven and hell. The momentum surged, causing everyone to panic. They fled in chaos but were too late. One by one, they fell, still unable to believe how quickly they died. Then a mocking voice rang out. Relying on money is definitely better than relying on people. It turned out that Huang Thiu Fong was bragging. This was something he bought at a Sotheby's auction. An unlimited level equipment set, diamond grade, worth tens of millions, with attributes beyond compare. All attributes plus 100. Hearing the name of the auction house, everyone was startled. Sotheby's, the top in Oahu. Entry tickets cost hundreds of millions. With such financial power, he truly is the heir of the Huang family. That diamond set must be legendary. Relying on that, he confidently declared, "Lambda, this time I will make you kneel," thinking he had intimidated them. He raised his chin. "What's wrong? Are you trembling?" Huang Thufeng even stepped over his fallen teammate. Warning, it's not too late to beg. But he replied nonchalantly, "Your golden exterior hides an empty core. Even strong equipment can't cover your inner weakness. You won't win." Those words made him grit his teeth. "Then you, Huang Thufeng, unleash the shadow blade and curse. Go die." Just as the killing aura rushed toward him, he immediately shifted away. That scene left him even more confused. What? The others outside also realized something was wrong. I don't understand what move he's using to take down all that golden equipment. How could his damage be that high? How did he do it? He even felt this kid was no longer human, resembling something that had appeared during the demon tide. Huang Thufeng shouted, "Impossible. Did you really stack everything into speed? I clearly increased my attributes with this massive outfit," he growled. "The shadow blade will kill you if it hits." Before he could finish, Lambda interrupted. "Your base attributes are too low, so you can't hit me." His gaze turned cold. "Now it's my turn. First step, find your weakness." Reverse healing technique activated. Triggering damage. The system reported 1,000 damage, destroying the target's armor, nullifying all diamond attributes. He was left speechless. My diamond equipment. Huang Thufeng's fury erupted violently. He fought desperately, launching the slash of the rising sun, the triple slash, and the overwhelming army. But the more he punched and kicked, the easier it was for Lambda to dodge. Huang Thufeng frantically chased after him. "Stop right there." Suddenly, his eyes narrowed in pain, and he fell to the ground, crying out. "It hurts so much. What kind of move did you use on me?" Lambda replied briefly. "Correct," he affirmed, "with no combat skills like you. My normal attacks can pierce your defense. Now, you can surrender. Sign the agreement. Say, I, Huang Thufeng, voluntarily give my diamond equipment to classmate Lambda as an apology and promise not to repeat this." What? Losing in such a humiliating way. And he still tried to retort. "Are you dreaming? Don't even think about it." But before he could react, he felt another wave of pain. Lambda smiled. "The cooldown is over, so your overpriced defense is useless now." He shouted, "You bastard! Dare to threaten me? Take this." Cornered, he unleashed the Heavenly Horse Meteor Strike. A massive collision erupted, and Huang Thufeng laughed triumphantly. "You trash. You're done." But immediately after, his body froze, writhing in pain. Lambda stepped out from the smoke, snapping his fingers. The reverse healing spread out, and his body immediately surged with energy. "The mist is slowly recovering bit by bit." Huang Thufeng cursed. "Damn it, this is really scary. If you make a move, or rather, my dad, won't let this go." Lambda coldly replied, "I hate being threatened the most." The new formation activated, the reverse healing spell unleashed, and as the strategy unfolded, Huang Thufeng screamed in pain. He reassured, "Don't worry, there's still plenty of blood. Let's keep going." Immediately after, a surge of power crashed down like thunder. The group of underlings stood stunned, unable to believe what they were witnessing. As soon as Huang Thufeng collapsed, he was pulled back with a simple grip. Instantly, his entire body shattered like powder. The others panicked. "Is this torture? Boss, what kind of pastor is this?" Then a wave of killing intent rose. Lambda chanted, "Calamity descends." They clutched their heads in panic. Did the little rich kid really die? From a distance, the entire scene was captured by the camera. The live stream exploded. Everyone was stunned. What the hell is going on? Isn't Huang Thufeng the rich young master? And who is that other person? How many gangsters are there? Do they want to silence him? The underlings were dumbfounded. What kind of skill is that? The screen displayed the timer. What kind of powerful mage is this? Where did Huang Thufeng find the guts? He still taunted. Do you want it? Poor dog. Netizens gasped. Oh my god. Such rude talk. I didn't expect this at all. No wonder he's so arrogant. Turns out he has good stuff. How much did this equipment cost? I hate rich people. The hot search exploded. The arrogant young master was crushed by the big shot. Netizens were furious. Can money really do everything? No mistake there. That's a pastor, healing while attacking. What kind of skill is this? Can it shatter unlimited level diamond equipment? We need to trace the whereabouts of this great figure urgently. I want to become his disciple. A few minutes later, someone jumped into the comments. Wow, he looks just like my classmate. He studies at the Zhangchengxia Vocational Academy. It's highly likely the same person. I heard there was a conflict before. Huang Thufeng wanted to get close to Goddess 2 but failed. I remember this pastor had cleared a dungeon that someone recorded, and 2 days ago, he made Huang Thufeng furious. It really became a thing. Someone was sure he must have awakened a high-level talent. Now netizens began to dig up old news. There had been reports of IPs selling high-level equipment and powers logging in from Jiangcheng. Yes, although this great figure set a record for the dungeon, it wasn't a professional-level dungeon. Moreover, the transaction photo was also captured. Students from that school must recognize him. Someone laughed. It's not a joke. Seeing this, Bakchi commented, "That's not Lambda. I once bought items from the big shot. He is very humble, so please stop the rumors." However, her words were quickly dismissed. The signs were clear. This time, the big shot couldn't hide anymore. Many talented people would definitely want to join his team. But what about me? Am I out of chances to tag along? A fan club for Lambda Group 8 was established online. With the big shot Lambda Invincible, healing, damage, tanking, mana regeneration, pulling monsters, supporting, and carrying. One person carries the entire team. The priest can now drain the warrior's health. The lines between professions are starting to blur. The priest is no longer at the bottom. A new era for this profession has begun. A new career trend is rising, breaking the boundaries of talent and resources. Online, Huang Xiaofeng is being severely boycotted. That guy is fake, riding on his parents' coattails and dragging others into fights. He must be dealt with. Young Master Huang looks down on commoners and has finally met someone tough. His arrogance has revealed his useless nature. His father is Huang Tiantian, a high-ranking official in the Alliance of Professional Gamers, and he will surely climb into the alliance thanks to his father. Social media exploded, collectively opposing people like him entering the alliance. Like father, like son. Calls for him to be ousted grew louder. The Huang company faced backlash that could lead to bankruptcy. Sites were rotten to the core. Netizens demanded the alliance take action. The news was also reported on TV, and Huang company's stock plummeted. Hackers launched widespread attacks because the chairman's son bullied his classmates at home. Tamakmak was watching with her parents, angrily exclaiming that Huang Xiaofeng was outrageous and they needed to teach him a lesson. Her father stopped her. "Mok, no," her mother chimed in. "That child has a bad temper. If they go down the wrong path, they will face consequences. Abusing power that doesn't belong to you will lead to disaster. How can one become a great professional gamer like that?" Tamakmak looked at her mother, her eyes showing hesitation. "Mom," she was still worried. If they took action, wouldn't her parents make Xiaoda the second Huang Xiaofeng he could handle it himself? Shangguanyan was also watching, exclaiming in awe that Lambda hadn't even tested his profession yet. Truly impressive. He paused to take a closer look. Shangguanyan smirked. That talent must be legendary. Choosing priest is like using a knife to butcher a cow. Compliments flowed. A genius like that appears only once in 100 years. Surely he can go straight into the alliance. Right, what does everyone think? Can we recruit Lambda early? The whole group agreed, wholeheartedly. For global stability, someone like him must be brought in as soon as possible. Someone even joked, "Old Huang, are you still sitting here? Don't you worry about your son?" Everyone burst into laughter. This was nothing compared to Minister Huang. This is also a great opportunity. How could they let it slip away? Chairman of Huang Company, branch minister of the alliance, Huang Tiantian replied sternly. I am handling things at the company. The compensation plan for Lambda is ready. As a bad father, I apologize on behalf of my son. I have sent someone to meet him. Rest assured, I will handle this strictly in the arena. Huang Xiaofeng was struggling continuously. Please, wait a moment. Now he was begging. Lambda, please go easy on me. He was surprised when Zhao Kaiheng rushed over from afar to report. Chairman Huang wants to talk. Seeing this, Huang Xiaofeng laughed maniacally. My dad is here. You're done for. Just wait to die, kid. In that situation. Lambda smirked. Chairman Huang wants to pressure me. Then he should come himself. The other person hurriedly waved his hand. That's not it. The Huang family is ready to compensate. Uncle Huang wants to apologize to you directly. Watching this, Huang Xiaofeng glared, bowing his head to this poor kid who was unbearably cheerful. Is he crazy? My ears are ringing. What, my dad wants to apologize to him? What nonsense are you talking? Huang Tiantian connected and immediately took all the blame upon himself. Hello, is this Lambda? I apologize for keeping you waiting. Lambda nodded and began. As a father, he bowed his head in acknowledgement of his mistakes. I am the father of Huang Xiaofeng. Everything is due to my poor parenting. He continuously apologized. I am very sorry for causing you such great trouble. Lambda politely replied. You're being too harsh, uncle. Huang Tiantian took responsibility for his son, saying that mere words were not enough. I want to meet you directly to apologize and compensate, within what I can do. And as for Huang Xiaofeng, I hope you can hand him over to Zhao Kaiheng. I will deal with him severely using family rules. Huang Xiaofeng was furious, unable to accept it. Meanwhile, Lambda smiled and agreed. If you are sincere, I accept. But the compensation needs to be specific and clear. Your request, I want 3 sets of unlimited level diamond equipment, including priest, mage, and swordsman, plus 5 million alliance currency. Can you manage that? Uncle you, Zhao Kaiheng was flabbergasted. What 12? His face turned pale. 3 sets of unlimited level diamonds, 3 different professions. The entire country probably doesn't have enough. Huang Tiantian hesitated slightly. If you really need 3 sets, it might take a few days. We are short on stock. Rest assured, I will send someone to the secret realm to farm the items. The Alliance is also ready to provide additional resources. At this point, Huang Xiaofeng had been placed in a care vehicle. It was truly troublesome to clean up the mess he created. Zhao Kaiheng found it strange and turned to check the rearview mirror. There were indeed electronic devices in the distance. The camera suddenly stopped. Someone poked their head in and said, "Thank you for watching. Chairman Huang has directly apologized and discussed compensation. For details, please tune in to the official stream tomorrow. Thank you." Lambda was also taken aback. The Alliance has noticed him already. Have they discovered that his talent exceeds the norm? As for Huang Tiante, he added, besides that, I can offer you the resources of 50 secret realms around Jiang City, excluding a few rare ones. Jiang City does not belong to me alone. Despite the complex intertwined forces, he still smiled reassuringly. It's okay. As long as we win, that's enough. The members of the Alliance were astonished to hear this. 50 secret realms in 1 month. What new profession could achieve that? Finally, he nodded. All right, bring your teammates tomorrow night. I'll treat you to a meal. Regarding the online commotion, Lambda added, I will clarify with the profession faker. Tomorrow's meal with Chairman Huang will surely be hard to sit through. Huang Tianti frowned. Has this young man thought that far ahead? He chuckled. Let's do it that way, he thought to himself. This kid's future is indeed bright. After ending the call, Lambda turned off the phone. He handed the phone to Triu Kai Hung. Out of respect for you and Mr. Huang, I'll let it slide today. But don't let it happen more than 3 times. The other person hurriedly accepted. I understand. The Huang family is also complicated. Extreme circumstances can easily distort a person. There are many things. Lambda interrupted. I don't want to hear about Uncle Huang's family matters. If we are not close, let's not talk too much. Triu Kai Hung sighed in relief. Thank you for your understanding. The next day, at Ngochilan restaurant, the top one in Jiang City, it officially achieved 5-star status. The restaurant is highly rated due to chefs gathering from everywhere. Its strength lies in personal experience, whether for one person or a group. There are private rooms available, ensuring no moment of enjoyment is missed. Even ordering the cheapest dish comes with the highest treatment. Upon arrival, Tamak still felt uneasy. Although Huang Tiante had streamed an apology, he remained cautious during this banquet. He patted her shoulder reassuringly. Don't worry, it's fine, understanding in his heart. That formal apology was because he saw her potential and wanted to befriend her first. As soon as they entered, the staff immediately greeted them warmly. Mr. Lam, this is room 888 reserved by Mr. Huang. Please, come in. Inside, Huang Tiante was already waiting. Lambda, you all have arrived, please take a seat. He introduced, these two are Tamak and Bakchi. Right. Both nodded in confirmation. Huang Tiante warmly invited them to sit down. Yes, thank you. You can bring the dishes up now. Please, he said. 3 of you, allow me to apologize on behalf of my son, Huang Thufeng. I apologize for not teaching him properly, allowing him to act inappropriately like that. Hearing this, Tamak was quite surprised. She didn't see him acting superior at all. Bakchi was also surprised. She didn't expect the head of the Huang family to be so amiable and humble. Everyone was taken aback by his attitude. Lambda agreed. Parents who love their children think long-term. Here is the chairman of Huang Corporation, yet he is willing to humble himself for his child. He spoke up. I understand Chairman Huang's intentions. If Huang Thufeng recognizes his mistakes and corrects them, I will let the past go. The two shook hands amicably. At that moment, a bodyguard entered to report. Boss, the items have arrived. Should we take them out? He nodded. Yes, let them see. The bodyguard brought out the items. Yes. The equipment name is Thin Trang of Ma Huang, consisting of 4 pieces. Type, a set of gear. Level 1 crafted. Diamond quality. No level limit. Required profession. Priest. Effect. Increases 30 physique. 30 wisdom. Self-healing increases 15%. With passive recovery. Note. When hit, it will recover the amount of damage taken. Cooldown 10 seconds. Especially increases 50% self-healing. Looking over, A.N.H. Lian exclaimed. Diamond equipment is indeed top-notch, and it matches the set currently in use. Adding health and survival is simple, yet powerful, if calculated. The damage reflection doubles. Lambda smiled in satisfaction. I am very pleased. Bakchi couldn't hide her emotions either. Thank you. Tamak didn't expect such generosity. The diamond set of 4 pieces with no level limit, given all at once to 3 people. The Huang family is serious, not just for face, she replied. The equipment is excellent. Thank you. Uncle Huang. We accept. The onlookers were also stunned. Is this the big boss of Jiang City? Yet he treats Lambda with such respect. No need to say. If you don't teach your child carefully, you'll encounter a tough expert. If you don't apologize properly and compensate enough, the online community will spit on you and bring down the Huang family, since the expert has said to let it go. Then, we shall leave." Both sides chatted happily. After that, they had a meal together. After eating, Lambda spoke first. "Well, let's call it a day." He nodded. "All right, there are reporters outside. I will see you off." Huang Tiante added, "This is the pass for the dreamy land of Haikot. The resources from the dungeon promised to you will be compensated later." He was delighted to hear this. "That's great." The meal concluded, and the reporters were already waiting. Lambda stepped outside. The reporters surrounded him, firing questions rapidly. "Lambda, I heard your talent is reverse healing. Can you clear dungeons by yourself? Is that true, Lambda? Did you really solo the newbie dungeon and achieve SSS? Please confirm, no profession has ever done that. May I ask, is the anonymous expert on the forum you outside was bustling?" While inside the room, Huang Thufeng sneered. "What a lost dog." He slowly opened his eyes. In a harsh tone, he asked, "Who do you think you are?" A strange laugh echoed. "Me, I am Lord Mai Cao from the Abyss, a high-level demon with pure bloodline and immense power." Huang Thufeng laughed derisively upon hearing this. "What a big deal. When we humans awaken, don't we just smash you back into bugs?" Mai Cao was furious, unable to believe it. How could the pastor beat him up and still look so smug? He hurried to explain that it was a strategic retreat. "Do you understand?" Then he provoked. "Huang Thufeng, are you really okay with this? People are mocking you. Friends have abandoned you. And you're flattering the one who bullied you. What if you made a deal with me? Now I have a way for you to gain superior power and crush those who have humiliated you, so your father can see that you deserve respect." He mumbled something, then snapped, "Get lost. This time I'll let it slide." He roared, "I, Huang Thufeng, am a genius. I don't need pity from a bug like you. What power that's for the useless ones to use." Mai Cao was so angry he wanted to kill him right then and there, but he had to remind himself to hold back, all for the KPI. After some thought, he decided to retreat. In short, whenever you come to your senses, just call my name, Mai Cao, and I will immediately appear, granting you the power of the Abyss, leading you to become an evil being without fear. In the secret realm of Haikot, levels 6 to 10. Difficulty level Dream of the Abyss. Standing in front of the dungeon gate, Lambda asked, "Bai Chi, how many more times can you use your talent?" A brief summary: this is the land of Haikot, where deathly energy envelops everything. Entering awakens the army of bone spirits, who will see the living as a delicious meal. She immediately replied, "One more time." "Before. I used it once in 2 dungeons. He sighed. "Then don't use it yet. Save it for later. Even though it's the Dream of the Abyss dungeon, I have diamond equipment. The strongest platinum drops here aren't worth much. The Huang family promised to give us better dungeon resources this week. They will open the level of the Annihilation dungeon for us. Right now, we just need a transitional weapon. Even if it doesn't drop anything good, we can still sell it for a decent price." Finally, he concluded. "This time we have 3 goals: gain attribute points, unlock a platinum weapon, and push our power to SSS level for the Dream of the Abyss. You all watch closely. I will do it this way." Tamak winked happily. "Okay, I'll only step in when you're about to lose." The 3 of them immediately entered. The system announced, "This dungeon is referred to by class changers as Bone Soup. Achieving SSS requires 4 conditions. 1. Defeat the boss, the Undead Knight. 2. Eliminate all skeletons. The Holy Sword cannot be used, as it is a weapon specifically designed to suppress the undead in the Haikot region." When passing through the gate, the Holy Sword still had over 60% health. Seeing that scene, Bai Chi shivered. Haikot is called Bone Soup because the difficulty between normal and Dream of the Abyss isn't much different. You just need to use the Holy Sword to finish. But this is her first time in Dream of the Abyss. Tamak stepped forward to remind her. A counter-type that deals 300% damage appearing in Dream of the Abyss. Then what's the point of it being Dream of the Abyss? Then he hugged her to comfort her. "Don't worry. After the dungeon, I'll sell the loot and buy you some food. Okay, Bai Chi felt embarrassed. I don't need it. Lambda had to give in. Okay. He stood up. I'll demonstrate first, watch closely. Lambda raised his hand, lightly biting his own blood. Then he dripped blood into the crack. Suddenly, a swarm of bone spirits rushed over, shouting, "Living person." Let's eat, he had calculated carefully, using his blood to lure them past the holy sword barrier, which despised evil creatures. Seeing the opportunity ripe, Lambda activated reverse healing, stepping into a state of continuous blood loss. Blood poured from his mouth, and all his stats dropped sharply. The swarm saw this and charged even more wildly. Mok immediately raised her hand to stop them and then threw out a pill. Lambda. Catch this. It's a pain relief pill. Use it when you're injured. It reduces pain significantly, but it doesn't heal or close wounds. He caught it and swallowed it right away. His strength gradually returned, and Lambda moved faster, calculating as he ran. HP below 25%. Just as predicted. These bone spirits are thirstier for blood than they fear the holy sword. Seeing this, Bai Chi worried. Do you really not need support? Mok patted her shoulder. No need. Trust him. That's Lambda. Lambda made another cut on his wrist. The system immediately warned, HP below 10%, then reported again. You have reached the boundary of the High Cot dungeon. He breathed a sigh of relief. We've made it. Lambda rushed to the healing point. Divine healing. HP restored 250. Restored 250. Restored 250. The others panicked. He sneered. Now it's too late to find it unappetizing. The spirit reversal hasn't even been used yet. Lambda's eyes gleamed coldly. He unleashed his skill, Hell of the Fallen, causing all bone spirits to drop to 0 HP. Then, the dust gradually settled. In front of him was a deep, dark pit. Mok and Bak Chi were still watching, while Lambda stared intently at it. A deep, hoarse voice rang out. Who has awakened me? The undead knight boss has awakened. He shouted loudly, I will use your skull as a cup and drink your blood dry. The status board displayed Undead Knight. Level 9, Strength 2, Physique 15, Intelligence 20, Spirit 15, Agility 10, Platinum Aptitude. Skills include Vengeful Fire, Wrath of the Undead, and Abyssal Descent. A wave of vengeful fire erupted violently. Lambda murmured, Reverse healing spell. His spear plunged into the ground, red light flared up, and he cast the skill, Soul Snatch. The knight's eyes widened in disbelief. HP reduced by 500. Lambda remained calm. Weak indeed. He followed up with another strike, using the divine weapon reverse therapy. Calamity descends, increasing damage by 50%. The attack caused the status board to report the boss was heavily injured, activating the passive skill, Undead Transmutation, enhancing all stats. The Bone King shouted, Rise up, my comrades. All undead creatures revive, recovering 100 HP each second. A group of other undead knights quickly gathered around. They charged forward, shouting, Foolish humans, your time is up. Do you have any last words? In response to the provocation, Lambda merely smirked. Bak Chi was worried. But Mok reassured her. These undead are really stupid. They don't even know basic math. Each second they only recover 100 HP. Lambda doesn't even need to use the sacred weapon. She confidently stated, just give it 3 minutes, and they will all be wiped out. A notification rain echoed. HP increased by 100. HP reduced by 500. The undead died. HP increased by 100. HP reduced by 500. The undead died again. The Bone King stared in disbelief. Lambda appeared, correcting the statement. That last word must be asked of you. Then he continued with reverse healing, Soul Snatch, reducing 750 HP, with an additional 50% damage increase. He was struck into a state of paralysis. Finally, The Bone King vanished, and the information board appeared. The undead knight boss was defeated. Received 6,000 experience points. Completed the Bone Pit dungeon. Rewards are being calculated. All hidden conditions completed. Ranking achieved SSS. Received the Golden Sun treasure, Platinum 11. Lambda leveled up. Reaching level 8. Name Lambda, profession priest. Level 8. Energy 10 plus 20. Physique 10 plus 20 plus 30. Intelligence 42 plus 20 plus 30. Spirit 10 plus 20. Agility 10 plus 20 plus 20. Activated 4 pieces of Demon King equipment. Swift Wind Boots, Emerald Ring, Talent Reverse, Heaven and Earth. Single target skills include Healing Spell, Soul Snatch, Support with status effects, Banishment, and area skills include Divine Healing, Calamity Descends, various spirit spells, and Hellish Descent. Level 2. Tamak excitedly praised, Lambda is really impressive. That's great. A surprise notification appeared. Tamak and Bakchi did not register any exceptions or movements. Checking conditions. No experience rewards yet. She widened her eyes. The final mission was completed. Protecting the sacred sword throughout the dungeon without letting it be attacked by the undead. Receiving the only reward, the stone sword key. Opening the portal to the secret kingdom replica. The undead pit dungeon can be opened when conditions are met, with the highest difficulty being genius level. Bakchi trembled upon seeing the rare item. Key. The genius level dungeon key. I can't be mistaken. Right, the system asked further. Do you want to activate the Golden Sun treasure reward? Tamak suddenly remembered. In the Bonehead Stairs dungeon, there is still a secret key that no one has opened yet. He nodded. Personal items from the secret realm can only be used once, unlike regular dungeon keys. Once used, both the key and dungeon disappear, along with the rewards. Because of this limitation, it is a highly valuable strategic resource, rarely seen by newcomers, usually only encountering common-level dungeons. Additionally, there are higher difficulty levels: Nightmare, then Disaster, Harm, Catastrophe, Calamity, and Execution, the highest common dungeons. Secret realms used once are extremely rare, all controlled by professional forces. Bakchi's eyes lit up. So at the same level, the rewards from a one-time dungeon are even more amazing than usual. Right. Tamak smiled and nodded. Yes, many times over. And moreover, it guarantees a unique reward for the worthy. But Lambda hesitated. Wait, no professional has ever maintained the sacred sword HP above 100% after achieving SS. She didn't pay much attention, pushing him along. Forget them. Open the treasure quickly. Let's see if the great Lambda will bloom. Lambda had no choice but to nod. The lock opened. The platinum-level treasure chest opened. Receiving 10 free attribute points. Obtaining the Platinum Hunter's Ring. And the Stone Staff. Continuing to open the treasure. Gaining another 10 attribute points. Receiving back the Hunter's Ring and the Stone Staff, he picked up a few items to examine. They weren't suitable for a priest. But that staff. Mok. Don't you need a new weapon? Tamak smiled awkwardly. No. 10 free attribute points are already enough of a gain. Lambda then added. Intelligence plus 10. Totaling 52 plus 20 plus 30, he suggested. You take the staff. It should suit a master of the earth element. After completing the mission, she asked, what should we do next? Lambda replied. The 3 of us lead in equipment and stats for the profession test. Let's repeat it once more, and we can reach level 10 right away. The 3 of them continued to move to another area. As they walked away, Lambda immediately asked if the 2 could solo the Bone Pool land, just like he did earlier, even though they weren't at SS yet. Getting an S was enough to level up. Bakchi nodded, saying, I can do it. Suddenly, someone rushed past them. Lambda quickly shouted, Stop! It's dangerous! The scene before them left both of them stunned. Tamak screamed, Bak Chi, someone has taken her hostage and is laughing coldly. He growled, "You have the stone sword key, right? I'll give you 15 seconds. If you want to live, hand over the key." The two immediately tensed up, their faces filled with caution. "If not, your little teammate will—" At that moment, Bak Chi exploded with anger and reacted fiercely. She forcefully pushed him away, saying, "Why should I hand it over to you?" At the same time, his accomplices behind him smiled sinisterly. Bak Chi realized this and quickly turned to run. Unfortunately, she couldn't block the attack from behind. She collapsed, and the others laughed mockingly, saying she had some ability, but it was wasted. Lambda clenched his fists, letting the girl go, saying, "If you want to live, behave." The leader refused to back down, sneering, "Don't be so fierce. I actually like strong types like you." Before he could finish speaking, Lambda charged in like a bolt of lightning. The guy was caught off guard, stunned, and they all shouted in unison, "What the hell?" The leader yelled angrily, "What are you doing? Didn't I tell you to stop?" The purple-haired guy shrank back, trembling. How can a kid under level 10 be this strong? They were overwhelmed by the killing intent and couldn't resist. Lambda coldly shouted, "Get lost, who gave you the guts to steal from me?" The guy in the cloak remained arrogant, saying, "Just wait until you regret it in hell." The others chimed in, "Second brother, don't let anyone survive." The bald guy called out for the deadly Banfai to threaten them. "Kill the kid first. The two girls aren't a concern." Mok was stunned, not expecting him to abandon his teammates so easily. Lambda calmly said, "Mok, Bak Chi, step back. These guys smell of demonic tide." In his heart, he knew they were all evil beings who had traded their talents for deep abyssal power. They had sold their humanity and turned their backs on mankind. Lambda then activated his healing energy, reversing the situation. The calamity descends, and the demonic fire erupted. The cloaked guy laughed, saying, "Your skill won't even have time to activate," he added. "Second brother, their gear looks nice. Strip them of it." The bald guy had already prepared his weapon, but before he could act, Lambda stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. The two were startled, asking, "What the hell is this?" They trembled, shouting, "You idiot, hurry and heal." The purple-haired guy stammered in fear, Bro, it's too late. He was killed in one hit. How can a priest under level 10 have such damage? Unless he also traded with the Abyss. No, he's a priest. It's Lambda. He wasn't just an ordinary class. No, he wasn't human. Seeing this, the cloaked guy screamed, "Run!" But it was too late. Lambda stood in front, saying, "If you want to leave, step over my dead body first." He activated the spirit reversal technique, and the others collapsed, trembling. No. In the end, he unleashed all his power, descending into hell. They were hit, screaming in pain. When the smoke cleared, Lambda smirked. All damage-increasing skills had been fully activated. He could take down a nightmare boss immediately, fighting against a player over 5 levels higher. Reducing HP to 0 was as easy as pie. Just then, Mok said, "If we don't strike now, it will be our end." Bai Chi was also concerned. "Should we deal with the corpses? What if their organization or guild comes looking for us?" Lambda remained calm, opening the tracking panel, reassured that no evil organization would dare to claim responsibility publicly. He analyzed that if they didn't go public, they would form their own group, and no one would care. Platinum and gold gear were strong, but had locked attributes. Unfortunately, their items could only be used by those who were evil. At that moment, he suddenly thought of something, his eyes lighting up. And then he pulled out a pass. The Giant's Forest dungeon where players had perished. A disaster-level quest. His mood brightened as he looked at this pass. It was a rare item. The Nightmare Boss dungeon was originally meant to test players. No one had ever cleared it in years. Lambda calculated that the second boss, the Soldier of the Spiritless Kingdom, was a nightmare for students. It blocked the path for all players. Even elites had to form teams to conquer the Giant's Forest dungeon at disaster level. Their goal wasn't just loot or experience, but the exclusive reward for clearing it for the first time without taking damage. The key to unlock the Forgotten Lair dungeon. A calamity-level quest. In short, Lambda had a plan, but that was a matter for later. A while later, all three arrived at another location. To Mach. Mach shouted, "It's the Giant's Forest dungeon." She wondered if they could just enter right away. He nodded, waiting for Bai Qi to finish her cooldown before they could go in. Lambda emphasized that besides reaching level 10 in the dungeon, they also needed to grab the pass for the Forgotten Lair. Level 16. Bai Qi held his arm tightly. "So how do we deal with these evil ones? Burning or smashing them would leave traces," Mach suggested. "How about burying them?" An idea popped into her head. If only someone could summon them, using the corpses as food. Seeing this, Lambda quickly reminded her, Hey, let's be serious." He picked up the bodies and suggested throwing them into the dungeon, waiting for the time to end for them to disappear. Mach clapped in approval. "Great idea. I didn't expect the dungeon could do this." Standing in front of the dungeon gate, he raised his hand to check the time. "All right, let's head back and prepare." Working while resting, there was also fish to peel, waiting for Bai Qi's cooldown to end before they entered the Giant's Forest dungeon. Both happily nodded. One day later, at Jiang City, during the meal, to Mach suddenly remembered that since awakening her special ability to prepare for exams, she hadn't had a full meal like this. Lambda reassured her, "Don't worry. Today, I earned a lot of alliance currency, and Bai Qi was carefree, eating to her heart's content. Seeing everyone happy, he suggested, "Let's come back here when we have time." She immediately agreed. "Sure, but to Mach advised, we should save the money for equipment instead. I'm not a child. I don't need to spend much on eating and drinking." Bai Qi blushed and quietly said, "Big shot. How about I pay for this meal?" He laughed and shook his head. "Save it for next time. Our team isn't short on funds." Just then, the server approached, saying, "Sir, the bill has already been paid by a gentleman." All three were wide-eyed. Lambda looked over there, wondering who this person was. The man immediately stepped forward to greet them. "Hello, everyone. I am Thangquan Yen, an officer of the Player Alliance, and also the leader of the Lingyun sect." Lambda also stood up to return the greeting. Hearing this, all three were stunned. To Mach even repeated, "You joined the Player Alliance first." Lambda quickly explained, "I didn't participate in the player competition. Moreover, if I agree without showing my strength, people will suspect I took shortcuts." He concluded, "So I will not agree, and I also do not intend to join any sect." Thangquan Yen accepted the cup of tea Lambda offered, smiling as he replied, "Actually, I didn't think you would refuse. Indeed, strong people always have their own plans." He wasn't discouraged and continued, "I hope to see you join the Alliance soon. If you need anything, just find me. This is the Alliance's wish, as well as my personal desire. The day you come, I want to have a proper duel." Lambda replied, "No problem." Lingyun sect, he thought. This person is interesting too. On the second day, at the Huayuan Academy, Lambda spoke up. "The challenge begins." Bai Qi immediately reacted. "Here we go." The system announced, "You have been granted an unknown power, gaining the attention of the Goddess of Luck. Each time they clear a dungeon, they receive a level-up treasure. The effect lasts for 24 hours. Lambda took out the artifact to activate it. Using the transit pass to unlock the teleportation gate to the Giant's Forest, where many had lost their lives, the server operated at full capacity, confirming the request to open the teleport. The secret dungeon has opened. With a disaster level announced, they are about to enter the forest. levels 8 to 15. Disaster difficulty. Description: calamity resides here, and Yumin is the destination. This is the dead land of the giant race. Upon entering, Mok sighed, saying that this place is a fragment of a large-level secret realm, accessible at level 8, but the difficulty far exceeds that. From a distance, a monster was already waiting. She shouted, "It's here. Its name is the Soldier of the Yulin Vong Kingdom, level 8, Strength 15, Physique 15, Intellect 2, Spirit 12, Agility 2. Golden Talent. Skills include horizontal slash, charge, jump slash, and thrust to Mok. Mok volunteered. Lambda. Let us handle these two first. Both immediately activated the life protection shield. She narrowed her eyes to aim and attacked. The monster was hit continuously, losing 150 health 3 times. Bakchi was astonished. The damage really was double. On his side, Lambda snapped his fingers to use healing, the clear vision spell he reminded. Pay attention to the combo of horizontal slash and charge, sitting back and observing. He felt more at ease. The new equipment was clearly effective. Mok and Bakchi had become stronger than their peers. The two girls were still fighting fiercely. They coordinated very well. At the right moment, Mok unleashed the poison bubble attack. Bakchi supported with the flame slash. The blow caused the monster to explode, but immediately after, the ground shook violently. Both were startled. What was happening? Lambda warned. Be careful. The first boss is coming. The system has recorded its strength. Level 13, Strength 27, Physique 22, Intellect 15, Spirit 18, Agility 20. Platinum Talent. Skills include Ambush, Ordinary Light, Protection, Lion's Barrier, Divine Light, and Level 17. The White Knight was continuously being dealt damage by Lambda. Reverse, Celestial Star Magic, Hellish Descent. Mok had no time to breathe. He shouted, "Kill it. It's dead." His gaze still hadn't softened, still filled with killing intent. Be careful. Bleed it out. Inflict bleeding effects. The White Knight appeared from behind the smoke. Bakchi and Soul Spirit Mok charged in, using poison bubbles and flame slash. They split their attack directions. The boss's health dropped by 800, then 50. The health value continued to decrease. The White Knight was poisoned, suffering consistent damage. With the bleeding effect, health dropped an additional 600. The boss was clearly weakened. The White Knight activated the Holy Light Knight skill, boosting all its stats. Mok was surprised. Is this its fixed skill? Just after losing 1/4 of its health, it entered an invincible state. Bakchi sighed. The first boss is already this tough. Lambda immediately explained. This skill activates before the knight becomes a wraith. I will lure it. You two remember not to draw its hatred. He jumped to another direction and provoked. Come here. White Knight. He calculated silently. This position is hard to avoid but has clear visibility and a good distance. If it were a real knight, it would definitely throw a spear to attack from afar. The White Knight immediately created a protective barrier, the Lion's Barrier skill, absorbing 300 physical damage and 300 magical damage. It charged its spear toward him, using the Light Spear skill. The spear struck directly where he stood, but he was unharmed, activating the reverse Heaven and Earth, recovering 1,500 health, greatly increasing both attack and defense. The White Knight was stunned, unable to believe its attack was useless. Lambda slashed directly into its body, using the reverse healing technique to steal health. His foot scraped the ground, pushing it away. What would it do next? Perhaps it would withdraw its spear and switch to close combat. Just as predicted, the White Knight gathered its strength to charge. Using the Knight's charge skill, Lambda leaped up, using the dodge skill to evade the attack. Two forces collided violently. The ground shook. The cleansing spell, reverse, and prohibition. He then charged forward, activating the Swift Stepstone, boosting all stats by 20. an active skill that teleports 10 meters in the designated direction. Seeing the plan succeed, Lambda smirked. Too bad you fell into the trap. The White Spirit Knight still did not realize that he had fallen into Lambda's trap, continuously being hit. His health was gradually depleting. -56, -47, -32. He analyzed that now was the time to strike. After the surprise attack and the Holy Light skill, he had nearly exhausted his energy, now only capable of close combat. After a series of blows, health recovered 500. Reaching the limit, the light skill ended, when the protective layer and barriers were completely gone. Seeing the disadvantage, he turned and fled, but Mok Mok and Bok Chi had created a chain to block the way. It was too late to run. Lambda jumped up, channeling spiritual energy into his weapon, reversing, healing energy, calamity descending. The strike landed directly on the White Spirit Knight, reversing, divine spirit, condemning to heaven and hell. The White Spirit Knight was completely destroyed, received 8,600 experience points. Lambda leveled up to level 9, Tamok to level 7, and Bok Chi to level 6. Bok Chi was panting. The disaster-level dungeon was no joke, Mok Mok thought. If it weren't for Lambda's damage immunity skill, then even with diamond equipment, it would be hard for us to survive. Lambda wiped the sweat from his brow, preparing to move on. The second boss was waiting, following the direction of the arrow. They would reach the mountain, but he was surprised, as there were no signposts at all. Suddenly, vines from nowhere tightly bound all three. It turned out this was the teleportation method of the storage-level dungeon. The whole group fell straight into the abyss. Remembering to roll upon landing, or it would count as injury, he immediately activated his protective power. Lambda created a cushion of spiritual energy to support the entire team, finally preparing to meet the legendary Master Ju, but unexpectedly, someone struck hard at his chest. Moonlight burst, be careful. Mok. Mok shouted loudly. Lambda. Bok Chi panicked. Master. A strange creature appeared. For unknown reasons, the tip of the sword pierced through his chest, causing him to collapse. It was Master Ju, whom he had heard of for a long time. Cold sweat soaked his forehead. No wonder it belonged to the celestial flower boss, attacking without needing to manifest, dealing damage extremely quickly. Lambda contemplated whether to use the reverse transfer technique. If he didn't dodge in time, it would be a real disaster. The Dark Master Knight drew his sword, entering battle mode. At that moment, the weapon would automatically be enchanted, causing magical damage. When releasing the incantation, all stats surged. A sword strike rushed towards Mok Mok and Bok Chi. The Moonlight Sword Shadow was an unavoidable skill, hitting the entire backline. Lambda could only shout, Mok Mok. Bok Chi, don't dodge, take it head on. Bok Chi rushed forward to block the blow, successfully, but her wrist was nearly paralyzed. Bok Chi's health dropped sharply. Mok Mok hurriedly ran to support her. She understood that the Moonlight Sword Shadow was not the strongest attack from Master Zhu. Mok Mok supported her, putting medicine in her mouth, explaining that this was damage caused by the collision of sword energy. Luckily, they had brought enough medicine. Now they couldn't let Lambda use the Pastor skill to heal. Lambda turned around, swinging his weapon, Divine Spirit. He charged forward, unleashing a series of strikes, condemning to heaven and hell. The attacks came in rapid succession. Divine weapon therapy, calamity descending. The boss's health decreased steadily. Healing, tactical theft. Mok Mok was astonished. Such a powerful 3-hit combo only took 1/3 of Master Ju's health. Meanwhile, all their equipment was top-notch. Unable to stand by, she used the Wood System's Poison Cannon skill, freezing the boss with Ice System's Ice Wolf. but the knight quickly broke the ice. Lamda's eyes flashed with killing intent. Continuing, he held his weapon, jumped up, and delivered a powerful downward strike. Before he could hit, he was thrown back. The rising dragon slash struck straight into his abdomen. Health points. -157. The knight continued to unleash the 3-link slash, but his health continuously recovered. Health points +789. Health points continued to increase by 521, then 378. It was silent, watching him closely. The Dark Master Knight had discovered the weakness on his body, then swung horizontally, aiming for his neck. Mok Mok and Bok Chi stood frozen in place. Lamda touched the cut. Health points +888. He smiled faintly. Indeed, Master Ju was truly powerful. He needed to focus even more. The Darkspell Knight was closing in on the two girls when Lamda ambushed it from behind, using the seizing technique. It turned around, glaring with hatred at the priest Lamda, instantly filling its hatred meter to 100%. Lamda shouted loudly, "Stick to the plan. Mok Mok. Tighten your grip. Okay, I'll attack while running." Seizing technique, Lambda thought. I have drawn all the hatred towards myself. To prevent it from attacking Mok Mok and Bok Chi, no matter how tough its skin was, it could still be worn down slowly, he thought. This is a God-given skill to turn the situation around. A clear way to defeat the boss. Mok Mok and Bok Chi also put their all into attacking the Darkspell Knight. Lambda glanced back. Even though it was at disaster level, with high health and defense, all they needed was a bit more time. Its body hesitated, the hatred meter shifted. It looked towards the tree where Bok Chi was hiding, lunging its sword towards that direction, using the reverse technique. The Calamity Energy Therapy was about to land, and he quickly intervened to draw its attention, losing 937 health. Lambda planted his staff into the ground. Master Spellcaster. Remember clearly, your opponent is me, he smirked. I'll shield my teammates. Your long-range attacks will be useless. Then he jumped, using the reverse technique, the Divine Spirit's descent to hell, unleashing a finishing blow. Accept your death. The Darkspell Knight collapsed. It struggled to stand with its sword, a green light emanating from its body. Lambda was stunned. This is... Bok Chi rushed over, defeating the Darkspell Knight and earning 9,300 experience points. The Darkspell Knight was removed from the Giant's Destruction Dungeon, and the disaster difficulty was now lowered to Dream level. The Giant of Destruction fell from Dream level to Disaster level, and the system interface appeared, completing the final quest and defeating the boss without taking damage. The reward was the summoning of the Darkspell Knight, summoning a cursed knight of level 15 gold for 1 hour, skill cooldown after 1 day. She looked at him with admiration. Boss, did you really defeat the Master Spellcaster and even summon a dungeon boss, lowering the difficulty to... He patted Bok Chi's head. That's right. This is the result of the whole team, Lambda thought. Just as expected, a boss that hasn't been defeated for a long time won't deal damage upon death. It was a lucky moment, and the accumulated rewards exceeded expectations. The brilliant light caught Mok Mok's attention. Quick, look over there. The system reminded that it wasn't over yet. There must be something even more surprising. Level 19. A line of text appeared. You have qualified to hunt the Forgotten Lair dungeon at disaster level. Lambda and Mok Mok looked at the golden light above. You have qualified to enter the lair. The guardian will open the gate. He raised his hand to collect the item. She forgot. They fought the Master Spellcaster just to gain entry to the lair. But Lambda was still concerned. Completing the hidden quest and gaining the right to hunt. Would it change how others approached the dungeon? She walked behind him, asking, "What's the big deal we're helping people? No one has to worry about being dealt with by the Spellcaster anymore. Thanks to that. We avoid failing the final exam and open the path to our careers." Lambda led the group through the butterfly path, thinking they might miss out on some necessary experiences. But never mind, they would fight the final boss now, on the map. They were close to exiting the forest, with only the giant of the middle destruction deep inside remaining. He reflected. The design of the giant of destruction was quite unique. The second Dark Spell Knight was truly the strongest. The final boss resembled a gorilla, but its destructive expansion skills were extremely powerful. However, it was quite foolish. The system clearly stated Giant of the Middle Destruction. Level 15. Strength 25. Physique 30. Intellect 10. Spirit 15. Speed 10. Golden Aptitude. Skills: Giant Sweep, Giant's Iron Fist. Introduction: a creature like a puzzle, appearing for unclear reasons. Bok Chi anxiously asked, "Boss, we need to stick the nails on its left foot." "Right," Lambda calmly replied. "No need to rush. This one is slow. It often sways back and forth. Observe closely. If we stick it on the left foot, it can only do normal attacks." Bok Chi was still tense. "All right, I'll summon the monster." Lambda stopped her. "Wait a minute." He raised his hand to block Bok Chi. "This time, we won't use the old method. I'll let the spellcaster fight instead." A giant knight appeared, summoning the Dark Spell Knight. Level 15, with the same strength as when it was a boss. Lambda shouted loudly, "Go, Master Spellcaster." The giant hadn't even reacted when the spellcaster charged in. It continuously swung its sword at the giant, striking with a sudden attack. The giant's health steadily decreased. Giant Sweep. The giant turned around. The Dark Spell Knight saw an opening, continuously attacking and then landing. Dragon Slash. Moonlight Sword, Chi. Triple Slash. Lambda shouted. "Mach Mach. Unleash your big move." While Bok Chi buffed for enhancement, both responded immediately. "Got it." The system announced an increase in attack and mental shield for the whole team. Bok Chi attacked head-on. Fireblade Chi. Mach Mach used Soul Command. Resurrection of the Fallen. Poison Shadow. The giant could only stand there and take hits from all sides. Lambda chose the moment to finish it. Descending into hell, a critical blow landed, defeating the Middle Destruction dungeon boss. Receiving 8,000 experience points, Lambda leveled up to level 10, Mach Mach to level 8, and Bok Chi to level 7. Lambda was now enveloped in brilliant golden light. Mach Mach excitedly exclaimed, "Lambda, you reached level 10. A few lines of text appeared on the screen. The evaluation showed that the player completed the hidden conditions. The dungeon was upgraded to SSS level, receiving double experience points. Lambda leveled up to level 11, Mach Mach to level 9, and Bok Chi to level 8. All three leveled up, and the Giant of Destruction dungeon began distributing rewards. A purple chest appeared, thanks to the Goddess of Luck's ability. The chest was upgraded to diamond level, completing the hidden conditions. Upgraded to SSS, receiving an additional platinum chest. The system asked, "Do you want to open it?" Mach Mach hugged Bok Chi tightly. Little Bok is the living goddess of luck, a golden fish reincarnated. He chose to open it and said, "That's why I chose her for the team." The treasure chest opened. The diamond chest contained the skill Diamond Sea Tide. Receive the diamond-level giant heart equipment. Each person gains 15 free points. A platinum chest also appears. Each person receives an additional 15 free points, along with a platinum-level white Spirit Knight chest plate and spear, plus 3 random Soul Stone items. The system displays the details of each item. The giant heart is an accessory that boosts all stats and grants a 5-second buff skill. The Soul Stone increases armor penetration and physical attack, while the electric seal paper adds lightning magic damage. The Spirit Knight chest plate is limited to knights, enhancing strength and physique, reducing speed, and activating a set with special effects. The Spirit Knight spear is for knights, increasing power and enhancing the Enlightened Shot skill by 2 levels. Bitch High Trio Sin restores all health for the party. Additionally, it randomly removes 2 negative effects. He stroked his chin. Looking at the item, this skill is quite good. Lambda spun his weapon, creating a swirling red vortex, reflecting back. Bitch Hai Trio Sin Vong Lin Tu Hai. Level 1. It summons waves of the undead, dealing 500 damage to all enemies in the area. It does not account for equipment or buffs, and simultaneously randomly removes 2 negative effects. He frowned slightly, thinking that his innate skill of reflection turned the team buff into a strange skill. Exactly like the boss control skill. For example, the enlightened shot of the Spirit Knight that stuns, but it slows him down, he thought to himself, when reflecting. That effect becomes a self-control removal, while also increasing speed. Beach High Trio Sin is now a damage-dealing skill. It should have removed debuffs from allies, but now it increases negative effects on enemies. The random effect makes it unpredictable. It could reduce health, lower stats, or even stun. Lambda closed his eyes. After learning the skill, he understood that he needed to practice skills with soul dissolution to establish a control fighting style. 2 sources of power are merging into one, as the introduction of reflection and chaos clearly states. If the innate talent rises high enough, it will change the very nature of the skill. Lambda stroked his chin, smiling lightly. The power to change lies within the existence of his talent. He could change it however he wanted. He turned back to the 2 girls, saying that the remaining matters about distributing items could be discussed later. Regarding the dungeon's difficulty reduction, he still needed to report to the academy and Thuong Quan Yen. His face suddenly became serious. Another shockwave was likely coming, accepting 20. A soft golden light spread throughout the street. The next day, in the principal's office, a scream shattered the atmosphere. What? The principal of the vocational academy slammed his desk and stood up. Lambda eliminated the Dark Curse Knight in the Ruin Forest. He was stunned. Did you say it was the boss in the disaster level forest? After the disaster dungeon achieved SSS, the system announced the mission was complete. The difficulty of the Ruin Forest immediately dropped by 1 level. Quan Yen calmly replied, yes. After leaving the dungeon, Lambda reported to me. The Alliance has confirmed it, the principal asked. Where is the certificate of the Forgotten Lair? He nodded, confirming he received it. At this moment, only 73 people remained in the Forgotten Lair. Quan Yen immediately recalled the terrifying scene in the deep forest. 24 people had died, and the rest had given up midway. No one could get through, and many collapsed before even halfway. His eyes lowered. No one dared to try again. Quan Yen remembered when he himself had also collapsed. It wasn't that they didn't try, but they lacked the conditions for a second attempt or had exceeded their limits. Seeing Quan Yen's bitter smile, Tienda placed a hand on his shoulder. They had to wait for him to get stuck at level 15. He absolutely must not level up to 16 before entering. A genius like that. The Alliance would support him fully, but once in the dungeon, he could only rely on himself. The principal laughed heartily. Truly wonderful, truly wonderful. My academy must thank him. He sighed heavily. The award ceremony must be held. I had previously suggested sealing this dungeon, but it was opposed. Thiente shook his head seriously. Soldiers are precious in their essence. Many students fear challenges, and thus they are eliminated. The Alliance does not support useless individuals. The principal frowned. I was merely lamenting. The Dark Curse Knight has driven away quite a few students from our school. Quan Yen waved his fan, about to say something when the door suddenly burst open. Mok stood blocking the door, holding out her phone, apologizing to the principal. Please allow me to interrupt. Lambda's team is in trouble. On the phone was hot news about Lambda on a professional forum. Less than 24 hours after leaving the dungeon, his image had flooded the forum. They dissected every detail, questioning whether he was a fallen one or a genius of dark magic. Mok continued. People analyzed Lambda's attributes, claiming his point allocation and strategy were corrupt, accusing him of dealing with demons. demanding strict punishment. Her voice was filled with anger, to the point that some were scrutinizing every frame in the leaked video. They claimed his talent was absurd, illogical, suspecting he had signed a contract with a demon. Mok's eyes sparkled with fury. Lambda is the Academy's most outstanding student, the future practitioner the Academy has high hopes for. Everyone knows his strength and character. She earnestly pleaded, "Please help Lambda." After hearing this, the principal finally spoke. "Classmate, to Mok. Mok, we understand your feelings." Kuan Yin opened the control panel, checking immediately. A series of articles about Lambda appeared before him. ID God Shi 2, a level 35 member of the Alliance. Below were countless comments debating his abilities. One person wrote, "I graduated from the top academy. Please see the analysis below." Lambda is a fallen one. The so-called talent and genius are merely hype. He wears diamond gear but still chooses to bloom. He does not acknowledge that video as fake. Clearly dealing with demons. I have insider information. His teacher is a friend of my father. His academy is full of doubts. That clip was fabricated. I would rather believe he is a fraud than an evil person. He must be punished severely. Invite him to prove himself. If not, revoke his examination rights. But he is still a student. How can he be judged so easily? One moment they cheer, the next they curse. It's truly ridiculous. Those who have been brainwashed and those who can still think are fundamentally different. The principal stepped closer to Mok, smiling. The so-called teacher is likely fabricating. He proposed that the Alliance, the Academy, and the royal family issue a joint statement. However, public opinion has not yet calmed down. Seeing the doubts from everyone, Lambda suggested, "I want to test the dark magic." Kuan Yin was astonished. Lambda and Tiente held a three-party press conference, refuting the rumors. The initial source also admitted to fabricating it. The alleged deal with demons did not exist at all. A crowd gathered at the Alliance base. When Lambda appeared, questions surged. "Lambda, why do you want to test the dark magic? Is your talent related to evil demons? Does the Alliance guarantee the machines are not tampered with? How can we trust the results? Lambda, you are a pride. You cannot be slandered." Amidst the countless whispers, Lambda truly appeared. It was said that he actively requested to test the dark magic. People looked at each other, their hearts growing cold. His silence sent chills down the reporters' spines. He smirked. "If you're so cowardly, don't be a reporter." That statement boosted the students' confidence, pointing directly at the reporters. "You were just shouting a moment ago, and now you're silent. The world doesn't revolve around you." The crowd erupted. "It's broadcasting now. Watch quickly. Don't argue with him anymore." Lambda stepped into the testing area, and a person approached. "Please enter the match and wait for the examination." He took off his coat and calmly replied, "Sure." A golden light enveloped him as he began to check the level of demonic energy infection. Checking 5%. The other person looked at him and softly said, "Actually, there's no need to do that. Some people can't handle extraordinary individuals." His gaze darkened. "Most experts believe in your strength." Lambda didn't care. "Actually, I find it quite interesting." The machine beeped, indicating a test level of 15%. He continued, "I don't care what they think. I'm just afraid of making those who believe in me worried." The other person nodded. "Got it." The machine beeped again, reaching 50%. Another person stepped forward. "We hope you get a good result. If not, we will have to detain you on the spot." He still smiled. "Sure." The test was nearing completion. The machine showed 85%. The atmosphere was tense. 100%, but Lambda remained calm. The machine displayed demonic energy infection, 0%, no demonic contract. When they saw Lambda was clean, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. "Great. I will print the report for you right away." The reporter stared at the screen in shock. "What not?" infected at all. How is that possible? The live commentary began to shift. They said he was evil. What do they say now? No more comments. Oh my, a cultivator this strong without needing a demonic deal. What kind of talent is that? Is it a gift from the heavens? Cheers erupted. The god is invincible. Lambda stood in front of the camera. Now I will publicly reveal my attributes and level. Anyone with objections can challenge me one-on-one or in groups at the same time. Tiu Fong jumped up. Damn it, can we really believe this? He claimed Lambda was enchanted by demons, surely using some trick to pass the test. Then he jumped out the window. I have to stop him. Lambda was carrying snacks for Tumak Mak and Bak Chi on the street. A shadow was stealthily following him. Huang Thufong scoffed. Poor milk tea and snacks. Lambda has truly fallen. Suddenly, he muttered, Where did he go? Lambda kicked him from behind. I just broke out of prison. He yelled, Damn it, that's so unfair. Lambda replied nonchalantly, The one tailing you is more dangerous. Thufong rubbed his rear and shouted, You dare, I'm here to remind you. Lambda tilted his head. He leaned in close and whispered, Have you encountered any trash demons? He replied calmly. No, Lambda thought to himself. He had only met a few wicked individuals. Thufong shouted, Stop being so arrogant. I let you win on purpose, and then the demon Tamu Yen will come for you. Quickly report to the Alliance, coordinate the investigation, and trace the evil demon's trail. Lambda frowned. You mean the Tamu Yen demon values you, and you still dare to refuse? Thufong sneered. A bunch of cowardly rats, dreaming of making this young master submit. He boasted endlessly. I am Huang Thufong, born to be the best in wealth, beauty, and strength. What do I need a useless person like you to prove? Lambda was speechless, thinking to himself, definitely the best. At delusion, Lambda sighed, reflecting that while his personality needed some adjustment, his ability to resist demons was worth viewing differently. Ignoring him, Lambda turned to leave. I hate the Tamu Yen demons, and my talent is something they can only dream of touching. You know that, Thufong shouted from behind. What do you mean, Lam? Wait, I will report. Looking at the calm sky, Lambda calculated that it was best to call Hoang Thien Te to lock him up for peace. The phone in his pocket vibrated, and he opened it to find a flood of messages. Lambda. Da God. Da God. Bold. We have caught the fabricator. News from the Knight Academy's Career Support Association. Da God number 1 in Jiang City. The sender was Da God 10,000 years. Reporting. Lambda. Da God. We have caught the fabricator. He even exploited your strategy, Lambda asked. Who? The other side quickly replied. Tao Nguyen. He modified your strategy and sold it, while slandering you. He asked if there was evidence, and they sent it. Yes, he formed a small group to fabricate. You pulled it up to my brother, and my brother took a screenshot. Lambda sent a voice message. This person is blacklisted. No use of power or equipment. Anyone with evidence, please send it to me. I will post it on the Alliance forum. Daygod 10,000 years cautiously asked. Dagod. But the brothers are very angry and want to deal with him, Lambda reassured. The job check is almost done. Don't ruin your future over a petty person. The best punishment is losing attribute points. If you catch him, I will gift you a portion of power not sold outside. The other side was astonished. Really? He replied. Of course. Feel free to copy. They were excited. Really? He added. If you find anyone like Tao Nguyen, report it. I will also provide additional power benefits. A friend B sighed. When will I be like you? Power at will, Lambda reminded. Right. Soon there will be a guide on skipping school in the Bone Sea area. Everyone check it out. An image of the Bone King appeared, previewing the power to skip school in the Bone Sea area. Dagod 10,000 years was stunned. Maintain Holy Sword blood volume at 100% to pass. Friend A was surprised. "Da God, that's too unreasonable." Friend B shouted, "Lamb bro, you will always be my bro. Please use all your power to reward me." Lambda said sternly, "But I need you to promote this. Many students are buying the pirated version from Taoyuan, affecting my rights. From today, anyone who buys or spreads the pirated version will not receive any guidance in the future." Da God 10,000 years quickly replied. "Understood," Friend A shouted. "Stop the theft, stop the smuggling." Friend B said, "We are off." Someone sat in front of the computer, typing. "From today, I will delete all pirated versions of Lambro's power." Bak Chi checked her phone. "Anyone who steals again will be blacklisted. Not receiving power. Anyone who covers for them will be blocked as well." The blonde girl slammed the table in frustration. "Based on what we just want to save money for the Alliance," a girl chimed in. "That's right. I think Tao Nguyen is good too." Immediately, a wave of outrage erupted. This strategy was entirely created by Lambda. Tao Nguyen is just a smuggler. People criticized. "You want the SSS reward, but also want it cheap. That's outrageous. You even want Lambda to work for free." That person was annoyed. "If you don't want to use it, then fine. The terms are tyrannical, and the power is just for show." A member of the Jingbi group replied, "The land of Haikot requires keeping the Holy Sword's blood at 100%. We already have a trial version." The group erupted. "What I want it, help me, I want it too." The person was furious. "I don't believe it," and then left the group. Seeing this, someone said, "This ID is permanently blocked. Check the identity. Other accounts are also blocked." Everyone agreed. "I blocked it too. I hope for your power." A boy excitedly asked, "How do I join the internal group of Dathan? I want to join too." Two girls happily said, "I will delete the pirated version right away. I support the original version of Dathan." Messages continuously poured into the group. You can join the group besides the land of Haikot. There are many strategy dungeons, continuously updated, tested, and supplemented with strategies. Young and old are welcomed, one person declared. "I am ready to climb mountains of knives and cross seas of fire for the Great Elder, just hoping for a divine strategy. I also want to join Lambda's fan group. We are a proper strategy group. No matter what, I love the strong." I am a die-hard fan of Lamb. He was a bit surprised when he saw the group surge to over 9,999 members. He was astonished. "Why are there so many?" Lambda sighed. "Dealing with petty people sometimes requires hitting the right weak points. Poking at their greed is always more effective than a fist. This way, income stabilizes, and there's no worry about bad competition." He finally returned home and immediately opened the system. If that's the case, he adjusted all the data and equipment. The attribute panel now displayed complete information. Lambda noticed the error report section on the system. He opened it, and a notification appeared. Reverse situation level 2. He assessed this. It leaned towards unlimited firepower. However, leveling up could wait until the job check was done. He analyzed that after surpassing level 10. With luck and free points, his intelligence was nearly 150. The next goal was to reach 150 when removing equipment, then quickly raise agility, spirit, and physique before considering strength. His secondary attributes were still among the top students. After thinking, he sent a message. "Zhao Kai Hong, right I am." Lambda. The other side replied immediately. Lam bro. "What do you need me for?" Lambda said straightforwardly. "I want to buy golden level priest equipment or higher, including weapons, shoes, necklaces, and jade pendants. I will send specific requests." Zhao Kai Hong was stunned. "Lam bro, golden is easy, but higher is difficult." He replied, "That's fine. Gold is okay too." He immediately agreed. 10 minutes later, he sent back, "Lam bro, here. Choose. I have the attributes, pros and cons, and price is ready." Lambda considered. "This golden weapon is a bit thick. It doesn't fit." He messaged again. "I want a priest weapon, a healing staff, a bone necklace, and a Bakju jade pendant. Get rid of the thick ones, he said. Okay. Deleted. Total 350,000, he agreed. By the way, I need refining stones to upgrade a few pieces of equipment to level 10. Zhao Kai Hung was taken aback. You want it right away? The price is fine. Lambda was at a loss. He was in a dilemma, unable to say he wanted to strategize in the land of the dead. Zhao Kai Hung panicked. Sorry. Lambro, I'm rambling. I'll get right on it. The total for refining and equipment is 2,400,000 alliance currency. Lambda happily looked at the series of items like the bone necklace. Barjiu Jade Pendant. The healing staff appeared one after another. He was excited and began to refine, power enveloping the staff. He successfully leveled up. The item increased to level 10. He smiled. For now, this is fine. With this equipment, surpassing SSS in the land of the dead should be enough. In such dungeons, the drops are only better, not worse. He heard a noise outside. Lowering Lambda looked out and saw someone's shadow. He called, Mok Mok. To Mok Mok was startled. She hugged the towel tightly and shyly said, Why did you come home so quietly? I used your bathroom. You don't mind. Right. The hot water in my room is broken. Lambda scratched his head. It's fine. Let me help you check. Mok. Mok blushed and shook her head. No need for that. By the way, are you free? I want to talk to you. Lambda was surprised. Me? Sure. But you should dry your hair and change first. It's cold. Mok Mok stuttered and ran off. Just wait for me a moment. Just a few minutes, he replied softly. Okay. 5 minutes later, he looked at her seriously. What's with the formality? Mok Mok slowly said. Xiao Baiqi once complained to me that she wasn't suited for the great sword profession, even with new gear. She still struggles when going solo. Lambda pondered. Really, she hasn't mentioned it to me. I think the great sword she uses is quite light. It's a bit troublesome, but it's still manageable. He analyzed further. If there's evidence of a hero class transfer, she could choose a more suitable profession. I'll ask Huang Tiante, but Baiqi needs to decide for herself first. Does she really want to change Mok Mok's face? Brightened. Great, I'm relieved. I'll head back now. Suddenly he said, Stop. His gaze pierced through. She had something else to say, not just about Baiqi. Mok Mok avoided. Lambda insisted. I'm asking about you. Mok Mok was flustered. Right. You saw through me, but you can't laugh after I tell you this. He chuckled lightly. Sure, I won't, she shouted. Don't laugh. Gathering all her courage. Lambda, you've reached level 11. Right, can't you see? Since you revealed your talent, the distance between us has grown. Lambda paused. Is that so? She smiled faintly. I know, since we were young. We've always been together, I thought after awakening. We would coordinate the best. Trust each other the most. But you don't need me anymore, just relying on yourself. You can earn hidden rewards and become the center of attention. She mocked herself. While I can only do a few trivial things that you can do on your own. Her voice choked. I'm happy for you, but every time I go down to the map, I feel like I'm a burden. Not strong enough to be a pillar. Lambda gently rubbed her head. Mok Mok, you're overthinking it. You're upset. You fool, you don't understand. She laughed bitterly. You don't know what it feels like to chase someone but get more out of breath the more you run. I don't want to rely on you anymore. Lambda nodded. If that's the case. Starting today, you need to be stricter with yourself. No more late-night snacks, except when going down to the map, at 5 in the morning. Train with me to improve your reflexes. Mok Mok was stunned, but it's easy to just accumulate points, he replied bluntly. Your points aren't enough. She pouted more. Lambda opened the system and handed her an item. Take this, Mok Mok asked seriously. What is this? A giant's heart. For me, he nodded. That's right. It's a gift for you. It's suitable for your transitional phase, and your clone will double the effect. She hugged the gift tightly. He continued. Mok Mok? Believe in yourself. Your talent fits the profession. Your potential is limitless. She clenched her fists. Okay, I'll do it, starting today. No more junk food. Lambda smiled helplessly. This girl only listens when there's a reward. Suddenly, she grabbed his hand and pushed him down onto the chair, boldly saying, "Let's see if Teacher Lamb can test my potential with my birthroom tears." He was stunned by her unexpected action. The spirit behind her appeared proudly, punching his back, massaging, cooking, cleaning. Mok was delighted. It knows everything. Both were full of energy, and he could only endure helplessly. Just then, Baichi peeked in, and Mok rushed out to greet her. "Xiao Baichi, you're here." Lambda stood behind, the guest teacher said. "Thank you for your hard work. You have to go on a trip too." Baichi looked worried. "Do you want to go to the realm of death? Aren't you taking a break?" His body suddenly glowed faintly. The system announced, "You have received unidentified power, blessed by the goddess of luck. Each clearance increases your luck by 1 level, effective for 24 hours. He took the key and reassured her. "No need. I've rested enough. You two need to rest. Go watch a movie. Working in between breaks will be more effective." Saying that, he inserted the key into the teleportation door, using the stone sword key to open the Death Realm once. The system reported, entering the Death Realm once, selecting the highest difficulty level, Disaster level. Stepping through the door, the armor automatically covered him. He spoke coldly. "Let's go." Seeing the difficulty of the disaster, Bakchi turned pale. The disaster level was high. Lambda thought to himself, "The system reports a death trap dungeon. Level 15 to 25. It's extremely dangerous. The level difference is too great. Any living creature that enters here will become fodder for the undead." He reassured himself. "Fortunately, there are no intruders. It might not be as terrifying as I imagined." Lambda activated his skill, shifting the heavens and earth. Red alerts blared. His life energy triggered the awakening of death, and the dry bone king stirred. The energy he touched awakened the immortal without love. The giant form's trial husband awakened, and the daughter of death awakened. Before him stood a group of fierce skull soldiers. The system introduced the Undead Legion, level 15, strength 10, physique 25, intelligence 10, spirit 15, speed 10, golden quality, skills of resentment, death's rage, deep darkness, and the great army of spirit beasts awakened, closing in. A few of them looked at him with greedy eyes, hungry for a living being, thinking of the taste. He looked up at the sword bound by chains of fire. The system reported that the undead riot had unsealed the sword. The holy sword of radiance appeared, granting him temporary unmatched power. The holy sword of radiance, an undefined divine weapon, would inflict 500% restraint on the undead. It had a curse effect, reducing damage by 50%, along with divine flames. In a large area, he paused, realizing, "This holy sword is just the lazy fighting method of the bonehead." Lambda thought to himself, "Of course, I can't use it." Before him, a notification popped up, clearly stating the conditions to clear the death trap dungeon. 1. Survive for 2 hours surrounded by the undead until the summoning team arrives. 2. Defeat any boss, achieve any reward, or complete 3 special requirements: kill all secret realm bosses, eliminate all spawned undead, and clear out all creatures in this area. 3. Absolutely do not use the Holy Sword of Radiance. 4. Complete all 3 initial tasks before the summoning team arrives. 5. Unknown. At that moment, Lambda leaped into the air, unleashing the stellar reversal technique. He swung his weapon down to the ground, sending the soldiers flying over 100 meters away. The undead screamed in terror. "You are not human. How can you have hellfire? It hurts." The system reported that all the undead soldiers lost 754 health points. Lambda coldly executed the next move, casting the healing divine artifact downward. A lethal bolt of lightning struck down, causing the undead legion to lose an additional 463 health points, activating a bleeding effect that deducted another 77. In a second, they lost 1,304 health points, and the undead legion was officially wiped out. Lambda smirked. Just as I expected. After upgrading his equipment and attributes, the Demon King gained an additional 90% recovery. The level 15 golden soldiers were cleared in an instant, without needing to use the ultimate move, Blood Sea Tide. But unexpectedly, the situation shifted. The system warned that another undead army had appeared. He needed to quickly break through the encirclement, defeat the boss, and destroy the altar of death. Lambda smiled, pulling out a green potion, silently thanking Mok Mok and Bakchi. He was truly grateful to his two teammates. The system reminded him to use all the following items: a speed potion that helps move quickly for 5 minutes, a potion from the Windbird Egg that temporarily increases agility by 50 points, a Thunder Potion that activates lightning speed, and a Stamina Potion that boosts short-term endurance. After drinking the potions, Lambda transformed into a bolt of lightning, tearing through the enemy ranks in the blink of an eye. With his fiery red eyes, he executed the Blood Sea Tide technique, riding the wave of blood to sweep away the soldiers, shattering the sea of undead. Damage increased by 10%, and the blood transformed into ferocious beasts, causing the enemies to flee in fear. The system announced all enemies were being burned in their souls, their attack power diminished, afflicted with poison debuffs, silenced, defense reduced, speed drastically lowered, stunned, losing 1,080 health points. The undead army disintegrated, and Lambda commanded the dark water to retreat. Before him appeared the altar and a massive zombie corpse. The system reported the altar of death had 10,000 health points. No defense, no attack. There were 5 buildings in the Death Trap dungeon continuously summoning undead from the void, protected by 5 secret realm bosses. Destroying them would stop new summons, and the creatures that had emerged would not disappear. The giant zombie, level 15, strength unknown, platinum quality, skills included: burst, poison shield, recovery, clone, iron hook capture, death slash, and blood devour. It was a colossal undead from a corpse, fond of tearing apart and crushing enemies. Upon death, it would split and revive. The system warned reverse transfer technique. Dark curse technique was imprisoning. Lambda immediately charged forward, thinking. Just 30 more seconds. He commanded the Dark Water soldiers, "Go, eliminate them." Lambda simultaneously unleashed 2 techniques: reverse healing technique and force theft technique. Calamity descending, reversing the divine artifact and corrupting heaven and earth. After the 2 strikes, the system reported the altar of death was destroyed, and the area ceased summoning undead. However, the giant zombie immediately split in 2. The zombie splits its body in half, creating 2 new entities. Nevertheless, Lambda remains calm, raises his weapon, and unleashes 2 beams of light, executing the selection technique. The system reports the zombie clone has been destroyed. The Bone King and the Undying Witch begin to awaken. He looks at the zombie's corpse rolling around and thinks, the genius-level dungeon, as long as it's within the level limit, is still within reach with my current abilities. He then calls out loudly, "Summon the spirit, go forth, I need you this time." A powerful spirit immediately appears, followed by a battle dragon. The dark spirit of the golden level, level 15, is summoned, fighting continuously for 1 hour. Lambda rides the dragon. The soul of the undead awakens. He leaps into the air with the dragon, soaring over the mountain peak. The 2 quickly descend to the ground. The place they land is the lair of the Bone King. The system displays Bone King. Level 15. Strength unknown. Platinum quality. Skills Legion Command. Death's Anomaly. Evil Light Sphere. Flesh Rebirth. Death Shield. Specializes in enhancing the undead with the light sphere. using a swarm strategy to annihilate enemies. On his thigh is the Undying Witch, level 15, platinum quality, skills, Death Wave, Bone Frost Magic, Black Hole, Lunar Eclipse, Frost Blood Trap. As an elite witch, she transforms herself into an immortal being using death magic, with extremely sophisticated spells and intellect far surpassing ordinary undead. Lambda looks at both with a murderous gaze, slamming his weapon into the ground, shouting, "Kill!" Seeing the spirit standing still and unresponsive, he shows his frustration. He exclaims, "Spirit Master!" The spirit immediately hoists its sword onto its shoulder, and Lambda commands, "Do it," then slams his weapon down again. The Undying Witch changes her attitude upon seeing this. She immediately charges forward, and the spirit executes the Moonlight Strike. The powerful slash causes the Undying Witch to scream in pain, losing 1,441 life points, but unexpectedly, she bares her teeth and laughs. Her entire body radiates a dazzling green light. Monster minions rise from the depths to attack the spirit, but they are weak. The spirit immediately activates the shield spell. This shield absorbs all magical damage, counterattacking everything for 3 seconds. The weakened Undying Witch raises her hand towards the Bone King, pleading, "Bone King, help me." Just as he is about to stand up, Lambda silently approaches from behind, hearing the noise. The Bone King turns around in shock. Lambda braces his staff, calls forth the black water, and says, "Your opponent is me." Then he unleashes the technique, reversing the Emerald Sea, Tide of the Undead. The black water quickly constricts the Bone King, and the system notifies he falls into a state of desiccation, losing 999 vitality, severely weakened. On the other side, the spirit continuously unleashes fatal blows on the Undying Witch, the Rising Dragon Slash. The triple slash sends her floating in mid-air, with subsequent slashes exploding with power, a spell detonation. The explosions create a thick cloud of smoke. The Undying Witch tears through the smoke, throwing out a dark sphere, shouting, "Black hole." But the spirit easily dodges and then glances at the Undying Witch. She laughs maniacally, gathering energy to create a gigantic ice sphere, Bone Frost. The monk did not hesitate, swinging his sword to cleave the immortal fiend in two. With a Moonlight Strike, she had no time to react, only able to scream, "Min Vuong, at the bottom of the abyss, I will exchange my soul for yours." Even as her body began to disintegrate, she still mumbled her last words, wishing for her foolish enemy to descend into hell forever. Lambda saw the danger and shouted loudly to warn the monk, "Master, she will self-destruct, taking everyone down with her." The system reported Ice Wind Blood Sacrifice. The immortal fiend offered her soul, burning away the remaining blood, casting a wide-area ice spell, dealing damage with a freezing effect. In the end, she was frozen in a large block of ice, panicking as she cried out, "What? What is happening?" At that moment, the monk was dealing with the remnants, coldly reporting, "Target has been cleared." Hearing this, Lambda praised, "Well done, Master." The fiend's soul gradually dissipated. While the Bone King was fading away, he murmured, "The calamity is just beginning." He struggled in his final moments, shouting, "Foolish humans, the real despair has only just begun." As the Bone King vanished, the system reported, "Bone King and Immortal Fiend have been destroyed. Basic requirements completed, teleportation gate opened. Players can now leave through the teleportation gate, receiving corresponding clearance points based on completed requirements." Lambda turned back to heal the monk's wounds, using a healing spell. After a moment, his body returned to its original state, the cleansing spell completed. Looking back at the battlefield, he thought to himself, the altar of death has been eradicated. The Shadow Wing Dragon, his ally in life with the Dark Mage, is now rarely summoned. Lambda climbed onto the dragon's back, grasping the monk's hand, saying, "This altar is clean. No undead creatures threaten us anymore. It's all cleared up. Let's move to the next point." And together they flew off with the Shadow Wing Dragon. On the way, Lambda calculated that there were only 2 final bosses left. He turned back to praise the master behind him, thanking him for saving a lot of time in monster hunting. Hearing this, the master was overjoyed, but suddenly both of them were ambushed. Hundreds of ice arrows shot down from above. At the same time, a black dragon roared and dove down. Lambda shielded himself and shouted loudly, "Master, we've been spotted. Be careful." The master immediately jumped down and launched an attack on the dragon. Both landed safely and immediately took a defensive stance, ready for battle. The system reported the boss's identity. Death Evil Dragon. Level 15. Diamond quality. Strong ice skills. Prolonged damage. Once a revered ancient dragon, now resurrected by the immortal king. Beneath it stood a female archer named Death Goddess. Level 15. Diamond quality. Magical archery skills. Once a heroic spirit, now a harbinger of death. Lambda told the master that this secret realm only had one chance, no less than an SSS-level dungeon. After finishing his words, he leapt up and unleashed his ultimate move. Reverse transference of celestial spirits to the hell of earth. The reverse transference caused the tide of the abyss to summon the undead. The system reported continuous health loss for both bosses. 1,555 points. The goddess of death, furious, drew her bow to retaliate, cursing, "You despicable humans dare to sneak attack." Her arrow and the evil dragon both aimed at Lambda. He sneered, "A counterattack? Huh. Let's see what a real sneak attack looks like." The attack sent the master flying, while Lambda took all the heavy damage. The goddess of death laughed scornfully. "Is that all you've got?" But she had misjudged. Lambda caught the arrow with his bare hands. He dropped the arrow, and the system reported a significant increase in speed, dispelling the ice effect and greatly boosting his attack. The goddess was horrified. Impossible. The arrow clearly hit his heart. The skill should be nullified. He's immune. She quickly shouted for the evil dragon. "Wait, something's not right." But it was too late. The evil dragon opened its mouth and exhaled a blast of ice. Lambda was completely unharmed, his health continuously increasing, and the system reported resistance to the ice freezing effect. At that moment, a dark figure was lurking behind the goddess, closely watching. The master seized the opportunity to charge forward, and the goddess noticed just in time. She turned to defend herself, stepping back and firing a dense volley of arrows. But the master's speed was too fast for her to react. The goddess gritted her teeth. "No, I must stop it." She immediately commanded all undead, "Obey my orders, stop the enemy." The master charged in, sweeping away the undead blocking his path. With a single slash, all the undead were annihilated. Then he stabbed straight through the goddess's chest, executing the moonlight ambush, causing her to lose a significant amount of health, and she immediately summoned chains and silence. The system reports, draining health from the Death Tri-Maiden, totaling 347, 256, and 277 health points. The goddess draws her bow to block the spellcaster's attack, muttering, "How annoying. You only know close combat." Seizing the opportunity, she sticks a purple talisman on the spellcaster's back, saying, "Then go ahead and die." The system reports that the talisman manipulates creatures. The weaker they are, the longer they are controlled. If she dies, the effect will be released and cannot be removed. The command is given, and the spellcaster's health begins to decrease gradually. The control talisman causes the spellcaster to inflict 300 damage on himself with each strike, lasting until the talisman loses its effect. The spellcaster's strength is waning. He collapses. The goddess smirks, taking aim and saying, "Just 1 second is enough." Unleash the Yang East strike. She fires a chilling ice arrow. The Dark Spell Knight's speed is significantly reduced, and its attack power weakens. The spellcaster's body is gradually freezing. Lambda sees this and shouts, "Spellcaster, switch to defense." He immediately complies, summoning a shield against the ice arrows. The system reports the summoning of black armor, greatly reducing speed and decreasing incoming damage by 70%. The Goddess of Death absorbs numerous skills while threatening the spellcaster, saying, "Once that shield is broken, your life will be in my hands." Immediately after, she launches a deadly arrow toward them, laughing gleefully, running low on health, aren't you? Meanwhile, the spellcaster silently gathers energy. She laughs triumphantly. "This time, you're finished. After you, it'll be your companion's turn." Suddenly, dark tentacles rise up to control her, countering with a forbidden technique. Lambda steps forward to shield the spellcaster, coldly asking, "Who just said they would deal with?" Whom? Just then, the beach-high trio sin technique is unleashed, dispelling the dark energy. The tentacles tighten further. She panics and screams, not understanding what this is. As the situation completely reverses, she incredulously asks, "Why aren't you dead yet?" The spellcaster silently watches, unleashing a technique that had previously defeated the evil dragon, shattering her power. With a single slash, the Thung Long Cham technique is unleashed, sending the enemy flying. Lambda raises his staff, aiming at the evil dragon, shouting, "Shu Tin Tan Dieu." The technique is so powerful that it tears the monster apart. The system announces, "You have slain the Death Evil Dragon." The goddess screams, "Death Evil Dragon, you all." She is furious, her eyes shining fiercely as she exerts overwhelming power. Lambda calmly calls out the technique, "Fan Chu Yen Tan Hi Liu Fap, Tham Hoa Giang Lam." A beam of energy descends, annihilating the goddess. The system reports, "You have defeated the Death Tri-Maiden." He turns to the spellcaster, splitting their attack direction and sweeping through quickly. The two of them coordinate to wipe out the altar. Lambda thinks that as long as they finish cleaning up, this map will be complete. Although special, it is not as difficult as expected. He continues to unleash techniques. Fan Chuyen, Beach High Triu Sin, sweeping through the sea of the undead. He quietly calculates that in less than 10 minutes. They are close to clearing the level, much easier than the 2-hour requirement. Lambda stands proudly among the corpses of soldiers. The system reminds him, "You have eliminated all remnants of the undead at the death pool, completing all 4 missions." But just then, he feels something is off. The system continues to warn, mentioning doubts about the dual-winged beast. The angel Kuro is about to manifest, opening up the 5th special mission, Choose Your Destiny. The system gave him 2 choices. 1. To receive the blessing of the deity and the reward from Kuro, surrendering all the holy swords that had absorbed the souls of the undead, and then leave this place. 2. To choose to kill the deity and destroy Kuro's phantom clone. Lambda asked in surprise, "What do you mean? Is there a hidden boss at this level?" The system explained that if he chose to receive the blessing, he would be ranked SS if he chose to kill the deity. Defeating Kuro's clone would grant him Omega rank, but failure would only leave him with rank C, he muttered to himself, analyzing that SSS was not the highest rank. But did the other experts know about this? Were the high-ranking members of the Concealment and Sealing Alliance aware? Lambda hesitated, struggling to choose. First, they didn't need to hide it because very few people were qualified. Second, this map could change without humans knowing. Third, both Omega rank and angels were real, but humanity was not strong enough to reach them. The angel stared wide-eyed at the two. Its main eye bulged fiercely. Then it emitted a piercing sound and vanished. The system reported. The Dark Knight retreated. The summoning was in the phase of recall. Lambda raised his hand to shield himself, shivering from the pressure. Is this the leader of the angels? But if the system had warned him, perhaps he didn't have to confront it yet. Where was Kuro's clone? At that moment, a feather fell. Kuro appeared along with the angel above. The system provided information. Name: Dual-Winged Angel Kuro, Phantom Clone. Warning: Do not challenge. Stats and skills are not displayed. It is a divine creature born to counter the undead. Kuro praised, "Human, well done. On behalf of the holy nation, I thank you. These evil spirits should rest in peace. Surrender the radiant chain, and you may leave." Lambda asked in dissatisfaction. "Leave. No reward. I just cleared everything. Kuro then angrily shouted, "Do you dare to doubt the angel?" He drew his blazing sword, threatening, human. "You should be grateful. Get out of here. Do not obstruct the angel." Lambda was stunned. The angel here was no different from exploiting humans. Lambda pressed the system while coldly saying, "What's left to do?" He arrogantly asked Kuro, "Is there anything else to do?" "Dear angel," holding the dark orb, he retorted, "the credit is mine. How can it belong to you?" Then he unleashed a technique, reversing the cosmos. Even though he spoke gently, Kuro remained arrogant, pointing the sword and insulting, "You pathetic creature. Serving the deity is already a great reward, yet you are greedy enough to defy the deity's orders." Lambda did not argue, launching a swift attack. The snatch technique. Lambda offered the staff, telling him to take it. And after that, there was no need to say more. Kuro angrily roared, "The power of the divine. Endure." Kuro unleashed a terrifying lightning strike, sending Lambda flying far away. He immediately switched to attack mode. Kuro continuously struck with lightning as Lambda touched the ground. Thanks to his excellent agility, he easily dodged. Seeing Lambda forced to retreat, he laughed with delight. The opening was clearly exposed. Kuro thrust the sword straight through, the tip of the radiant chain embedding into Lambda's body. But Lambda countered just in time, executing the reverse cosmos technique. He smirked. Life value plus 1,678. Kuro, furious, watched Lambda flee and shouted, "Don't even think about using your skills to escape the deity's wrath." He raised his sword to the sky and shouted, "Lightning, come forth." Meanwhile, Lambda continuously healed, life value plus 2,647. Yenjiang unleashed a move, reversal of the celestial spirits, as both sides clashed, descending into chaos, losing 1,531 health. Kuro growled, "You want to die, creature." The system announced a damage boost buff. He screamed. Look closely at the outcome when facing the angel. Judgment. Judgment. Lambda countered but thought to himself. At first it was indeed terrifying, but now he saw Kuro wasn't very smart, probably because he was just an illusion. Kuro, realizing he wasn't dealing any damage, yelled, "Why aren't you hurt? You're healing continuously." He chuckled softly, thinking to himself, if Fam saw me take down a boss like this, he wouldn't question it at all. Kuro, furious, gathered his strength to unleash a powerful technique, asking loudly, "Invincible, do you have an invincible skill? Impossible." He couldn't believe it, while Lambda stood firm, coldly replying, "That's right. So you only managed to cut my hair and coat." He unleashed another move, reversing the Emerald Sea Tide. His black water wave enveloped Kuro, soul-reaping tide, dealing 2,352 damage. The angelic illusion received a slow debuff ×3, slowed down, and reduced damage. Lambda slammed his hands on the ground and shouted, "Reversal of the healing artifact. Calamity descends." In just a few seconds, Kuro collapsed. The angelic illusion received another slow debuff, losing 2,077 health. He lay sprawled on the ground, his health bar nearly empty. Kuro whispered, You. Lambda pressed his staff against Kuro's face, unleashing the move, reversal healing technique, plunder technique, dealing 2,505 damage. In an instant, Kuro turned to smoke. The system reported the defeat of the two-winged angelic illusion, completing the secret realm of the Dead Land, receiving a Diamond Level 6 clearance reward, meeting all hidden conditions, receiving an SS rating, gaining an additional Diamond Level 6 reward, Omega Level clearance points. The secret realm was about to disappear, and the gathered power transformed into a unique reward for Lambda. The system announced that the user received a matured weapon. The quality name was unclear, Lightning Spirit Moon Concealment, a unique item. Lam-Da received the sword. The system displayed Lightning Spirit Moon Concealment, a unique weapon, Level 1. Quality undetermined. Usable only by priests. Equipping increases all attributes by 1 point. Unlocking 3 energy forms. The weapon data gradually appeared. Its devouring ability helped the priest enhance quality, increase stats, and unlock new skills. Liberation form. The blade heals the target hit, excluding the user, unlocking the Sea Moon Oath. Destruction form. Dealing both physical and magical damage. Healing based on damage dealt. Unlocking the Moment of Annihilation and the Moon Shadow Rift. Sea Moon Oath. An active skill. Summons moonlight jellyfish to continuously heal nearby allies, including the user. Removes negative statuses for teammates, including oneself. The Moment of Destruction summons a destruction dagger, dealing area damage and increasing subsequent damage. Moon Shadow form. An active skill. Enters an unseizable shadow state, immune to damage. Quick teleportation. Lam-Da held the sword joyfully. 3 forms. 3 ultimate moves, perfectly aligning with his innate talent. The question was the quality. Would this matured weapon surpass diamond level? The system reported unlocking diamond status, receiving 20 free points, equipping the diamond frostbone guiding, the ancient dragon necklace, speed attack skill, equipping platinum magic core, fine items, specialized weapons, and rare potions. Lam-Da contemplated the necklace and attack badge, adding perfect defensive gear and a top-tier battlefield skill. He touched the system arrow and said, all attributes plus intelligence. The stats displayed. Name Lam-Da, class priest, level 2. Attributes included strength, physique, intelligence, spirit, agility, activating enough magic emperor gear, rings, gems, staff, lightning spirit, moon concealment, ancient dragon necklace, awakening innate talent, reversal of heaven and earth, single skill, support, and complete group. He held the staff and stepped into the spatial gate, whispering to himself. This was just the first target. In the blink of an eye, he returned to the real world, still thinking, taking advantage of the Goddess of Luck's effect, to quickly raid another level 12 dungeon. At that moment, Tao Nguyen stepped out from the bushes, his voice deep and gruff. Lam-Da, it's finally your turn. Hearing the strange noise, Lam-Da turned around abruptly and asked, who? The fierce guy rushed in, cursing, die. Lam-Da, today is your doomsday. Tao Nguyen stabbed fiercely, muttering, it's you. It's you who made me like this. My family and friends abandoned me. It's all because of you. Lam-Da deflected the spear and coldly asked, are you done talking? He thought to himself that he had warned the students not to act recklessly out of anger. They had committed not to interfere, only intending to make him fail his attribute test. Now he wanted to drop out. At most, he would just face a disciplinary fine. Then he spun the spear to counterattack, causing blood to pour from Tao Nguyen's nose, and asked back, you say I'm fabricating, exploiting, stealing power. You said that yourself. The guy was so furious he was shaking, a wave of dark energy emanating from him as he howled and charged in to attack. Lam-Da was startled, stammering. This is, then exclaimed, demonic energy. He immediately dodged the attack, a suspicion flashing in his mind. Could it be that Tao Nguyen? Tao Nguyen ground out each word. You were never worthy to be his opponent, just a pathetic supporting role, looked down upon. He recalled the times he had been beaten, his eyes vacant, feeling that no one liked him. Abandoned, ignored, completely isolated. He was mocked. You are just a backdrop for the genius. If he refused to play the background, he would be hated even more. He screamed, I have to kill him. Then a voice echoed from the abyss. Do you want to change your fate? Come into our embrace. A dark shadow invaded his body. Now you can only rely on me. Tao Nguyen knelt down. Great Lord of the Abyss, Grant me the power of the abyss." His body turned purple, growing larger. He screamed, "No, don't make me into a monster." Lambda raised his hand and shouted, "Taunguyen, you have been enchanted by the abyss." But the guy only laughed maniacally. "Is this the power of the abyss? It's too strong." Lambda still tried to persuade him. "You can still stop. If not, I will have to kill you." He spoke sternly, raising his hand to prepare to strike. According to Article 11 of the Alliance, when encountering a fallen one, any means of immediate elimination could be used to protect the innocent. But the guy laughed harshly, raising his sword and shouting, "Kill me. Do you dare? This is your retribution. Lambda." Tao Nguyen swung his sword straight at him, the abyssal version, but Lambda stepped back, narrowly avoiding the edge. The slash grazed him, causing him to bleed continuously. As the abyssal energy seeped into his body, reducing his strength and increasing the damage he received, Lambda's face darkened. "All right then." He summoned his sword, "Don't blame me," then charged in, lightning spirit moon hidden, dual blade, thinking to himself that even if he chose the abyss, he was still no match. A horizontal slash. At most, he was just a level 10 boss. Tao Nguyen laughed loudly. "That's a correct analysis. The priest only knows how to increase power. You're definitely dead." Lambda smirked, thinking he didn't need to use the reverse universe just yet. There must be demons monitoring around here. If he revealed his invincible skill, it would create disadvantages. He immediately slashed down. Tao Nguyen's eyes widened. "How is this possible? My power has weakened, and one strike makes me bleed like this." Lambda chuckled softly. "I can still cut a bit." He looked at the guy with disdain. "A copy like you. Both in theory and observation are lacking. You don't even realize the low-level physical damage magic. Fine, I'll use you to lure the demons out." Then he swung his sword, almost delivering a fatal blow. His eyes glowed red, deciding to spare the guy's life. Lambda invoked, "Please invite the demon into the container." A dark shadow appeared in the distance.